just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are now 1-2 on the season after a 21-14 home loss to Pittsburgh yesterday at Gillette Stadium. Mike Vrabel's team turned the ball over 5 times in this one, and that includes an end zone interception by Drake Maye and a Ramondre Stevenson fumble at the goal line.
Turnovers are very hard to overcome. They erase all the good things that you do, take away momentum, they take away points, give them field position. So we didn't need to turn it over as many times as we did to learn a lesson. I think we knew that before, so it's very unfortunate.
May threw for 268 yards and a pair of scores, but was also sacked 5 times, and his fumble inside the Steelers' 40 in the fourth quarter was a killer. The Patriots' next game will be at home this Sunday against Carolina. The Panthers have come to town 1-2. They shut out Atlanta yesterday at home 30-0. Red Sox are beaten in Tampa last night 7-3 by the Rays. The home team scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th to put this game away and avoid a 3-game sweep. Sox have 6 games left. They're 1 game up on both Cleveland and Houston for the second wild card in the American League. Their next game is tomorrow night in Toronto. And the Bruins began their preseason last night with a 5-2 loss to the Washington Capitals at TD Garden. Morgan Geekie scored an early goal for the Bees in the loss. Their next one is on the road tomorrow night against the New York Rangers. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio?
No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
What are we doing?
Do you know how to snap a football?
Yeah. No.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. Town Fair Tires Studios, 617-779-0985. As always, you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And watch the show. If you're hearing this on podcast, you can always watch it. Because it's up there until it's not. And that's the way that it goes. We'll get very much into the Patriots today with Mike Reese. Also, Bob Socci joining us. We'll go around the NFL. A celebrity is now in a feud with someone in Hardy's orbit. There's a lot to get into today. Or a guy who used to be a celebrity.
Right. And I will need a significant amount of help with the Patriots recap today.
Okay.
Because I had a great Sunday plan.
Oh.
It was wonderful. It was golf at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Right? So we're one of the first ones off. Done probably by 11:30. Right? Maybe grab a quick bite and then home to watch the Patriots. I mean, it's a beautiful day.
3.5 hour round?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, but if you're first out and you got to keep moving if you're the first out on a weekend. It's part of the understanding.
Responsibility. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you. That's a good word, John.
Yeah.
Now, this was all going to be under the umbrella of my daughter being home over the weekend, but I was going to drive out to pick her up on Friday. We were going to spend Saturday together. And then I figured by Sunday morning she'd probably be sleeping in, and I'd be able to get out and play golf and, then just come home, whatever. Plenty of family time between the drive Friday, spending time on Saturday, whatever. It was decided late last week by my daughter she was not going to be coming home this weekend. All right, fine. My wife instead decides on Saturday, you know what? I think I'm going to go out and see Katie on Sunday. I said, what? She goes, yeah. She just needs to do some shopping and like go to lunch. I said, really? She goes, yeah, I'll go see Katie. I'm thinking to myself, I was not specifically invited or asked to go, but I think it was going to be one of those classic cases. And Fred, there's a little Easter egg, not always knowing the right thing from the wrong thing, but generally knowing the wrong thing once you're already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were out there playing golf on Sunday morning, knowing that my wife was at that time driving to Amherst without me to see our daughter, whom we have not seen since we dropped her off at school, to take her out shopping and take her to lunch, and I was just going to play golf and then watch football, I would probably be doing the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, on Saturday night, I called my buddy. I'm like, I got to tap out of our tee time. I'm all done. I can't go. So instead, we got in the car about 8:30 yesterday morning, drove out to Amherst, went shopping, had lunch, then drove home. All the while on the drive home, trying to watch the end of the Patriots game on various streaming platforms through the woods and the hills, and that just. So I'd recorded it. I watched most of it when I got home, but it was not easy. It wasn't great, but it was a great day.
Aren't you glad you went? And I'm sure it was good that you were there.
But it was the right thing to do.
Did you feel like you belonged there?
I can answer that one. No. The answer is no. You did not belong there.
Oh no! I mean, I think it was expected that I go, but once I was there, I wasn't needed.
Right.
It was a mother-daughter, where did you take care of stuff thing.
Where did you shop in Amherst, Massachusetts?
Oh, nowhere near Amherst. We had to drive to some mall. The high point of the day for me was a store in the mall called Mystery Box. And Mystery Box is like a
glory hole.
Best Buy sized. It was probably a Sears or a JCPenney or something. It's huge. And all it is a bunch of crap and just bins lined up with random crap thrown into the bins, mostly open box, damaged box. And in the back of the store, they would just have a wall of, in one section, a wall of, what are those machines that the celebrities hawk, the coffee machines? Nespresso,
yeah.
Right? Like 50 of them, all in varying degrees of being damaged. And they just write in Sharpie the cost on the box, I guess, depending on how effed up the box is. This one's $50. This one's $60. Here's 3 in a row that are all $80. And while they were at Sephora and every other, store they wanted to go to, I just spent time in Mystery Box looking at stuff. But other than that,
did you buy anything in Mystery Box?
No, I that was going to be my, carrot that I was dangling in front of me. I'm like, I'm going to walk out of here with something, but I couldn't. I couldn't find anything I really wanted, much less needed.
Yeah. I mean, that's where most of Scenes from a Mall, with the Woody Allen vehicle that he did with The Wind Beneath My Wings lady.
Bette Midler?
Bette Midler.
Oh.
Was at a Mystery Box.
Was that a Mystery Box?
Yes, it was a Beverly Hills mall with Mystery Box. Yes, I had to go to UConn in the morning for a thing my son was doing for baseball, and then
speaking of being out in the woods,
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it wasn't even that bad a drive, but what happened is on the way back, it said there's a quicker route. Do you want to take it? And so I said fine.
Oh,
and it got me off of 84 onto some like 2-lane road, and there was and it put me into like 18 minutes of traffic, which I assume is because Google Maps was telling everyone to get off there.
Right.
And I honestly think that's what happened. So I was switching between the Jets game and the Patriots game coming back. I should have been back before 2, and it turns I got back at like around 2:30 is when I ended up getting home.
But you made it back for the end of that Jet game, and that was everything.
They didn't give up. I'll give them that.
They were right there.
They didn't give up. I mean, they could have easily given up. I mean, they were getting killed, and they didn't give up. And that's the thing, is that much like that loss, I don't feel bad about. If I was a Patriots fan, I wouldn't feel terrible about the loss yesterday.
That's pretty good, though. UConn and back and took in a game in between. Is that what you were doing out there?
Yeah. It was a quick game, but yeah.
But home by 2:30. I mean, we were home by 4:30, just in time to, miss everything.
Well, I left at 8, got there at like 9:30-ish, and then I left there like a little past 8, got there at 9:30-ish, left the place at 12:30, a little after 12:30, and I was supposed to get home at 2. Connecticut's not that far away. The Stores isn't very far away, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
How far is Amherst?
2 hours.
Yeah, so Amherst is further away than Stores.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that UConn camp is big. They have a whole section that's for athletics. It's a big major league operation over there. I had never been there before. Bobby Hurley's kid was it Bobby Hurley? Is that the name of the coach there?
Danny
Hurley. Danny Hurley was walking around.
Oh.
Just yelling and screaming. He was on a soapbox. He was talking about the Rapture. He was out.
No one in particular?
No,
It wasn't a team meeting or anything.
No, there was no one around him. He was just talking about the Rapture. He had a megaphone.
Tomorrow, right? That's what everybody's saying.
Did he have a little speaker on his sling over his shoulder so you could hear him?
No,
when
just
he
a good old-fashioned bullhorn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a bullhorn and a like a sandwich board over his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. There's something on TikTok that the end of the world is coming, which is has been happening. So that's even a little refreshing, because the predictions of the Rapture have been happening since way before our parents or grandparents. I mean, it's been happening since the beginning of time. People believe they could tell you when the Rapture is coming, and there is a nostalgia to that I enjoy in this day and age of social media and everything else, that there's a good old-fashioned the Rapture is coming. Now, I don't know if this one is like the one where you had to castrate yourselves, but that's the thing. I was watching something about Saturday Night Live, and they did a skit about those people that killed themselves with this is years and years and years ago.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Talking about that
the
in here,
Haley's Comet thing? Is that what that is?
Well,
that was part of it, yeah.
Okay, so Haley's
comet
part
was
part
passing.
Of it. But you had to buy these certain sneakers, and you had
Yes.
to cut your balls off.
Yes.
And no, they didn't drink Kool-Aid.
I thought they drank something to kill themselves.
Okay, but it wasn't Kool-Aid. That's Jim Jones.
Yeah,
that's Jim Jones. So they Saturday Night Live did a skit about it, like a cold open, and now it's looked upon as being this very offensive thing. And I'm thinking, these people voluntarily killed themselves and cut their own balls off. Like, what do you think? Their families are offended that they did a jokey thing about it?
It's insensitive.
But they did it by their own accord. They all were adults that decided to cut off their own balls. I don't know if they cut off their own balls, but their ball. I don't think a doctor cut their balls off. I'd have to imagine that it was some at-home procedure. I don't think they went into Cedars-Sinai and got their balls cut off because they thought the Rapture was coming and they were like, sure. But what do I know? In my opinion, I don't know. Well, if I'm a doctor, I'm not cutting anyone's balls off. I was going to say, if you want to cut your balls off, cut your balls off. But if I don't think maybe a doctor, if I'm a doctor, I might go I'm not going to cut your balls off because you think the Rapture's coming.
Controversial stance, but I'm taking
Not
it here.
against the
If
Hippocratic
I ever
Oath.
get my medical license, I'm not going to cut your balls off, even if you ask me nice.
I mean, doctors do crazy stuff all the time. I don't know. It could be considered plastic surgery. I don't know. cut your balls off, and then there you go. But if you said the Rapture's coming on, cut your balls off, I'd say, I'm not.
I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't give anybody calf implants. I saw that on one of those reality shows where a guy was,
they're very big in the gay community.
Well, this guy was skipping leg day his entire life, and he was an Adonis from the waist up, but he just couldn't get those calves where he needed it, so he got calf implants. And the end of the episode of this plastic surgery show shows him like going to the bar to show off his new calf implants to his friends, quote unquote friends, and they're all just looking at him like, "What is the matter with you? What are you doing? You're an idiot."
Was he gay?
No,
he wasn't gay.
No,
because that's very big in the gay community.
No, I didn't know.
I don't think it's very big in the gay community, but just every calf implant thing I've heard in the guise of like a gay guy telling a joke. Like a gay comedian talking about calf implants. I've never. Do women look at your calves? Because you can do your calves like every other day. The calves is a muscle that you don't have to give it a lot of rest time. Because they're built to withstand that, baby. So if you want to, if you could watch these old school bodybuilders on YouTube, they'll tell you. Every other day at the gym, they would always make sure to do
blast those
raises,
calves,
blast those calves, and you get the burn, and that's the pump. It's like an orgasm. It's like and then he says the thing is like it's like an orgasm. You ever see Pumping Iron, John?
I've not seen Pumping
You've
Iron.
never seen Pumping Iron?
I've seen like bits and pieces, but not beginning to end.
Have you ever seen Pumping Iron?
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to watch Pumping Iron. Yeah, it's not a big time investment. You got to watch. Pumping Iron. I got MGM Plus, and this will be the last thing. We're all over the place, and we'll get to football. And I do like Woody Allen, like I do, and I know he's done bad stuff, but again, it's stuff he's created. It's his art. He's not making any money me watching it online. I don't really care. But here's a guy who got rid of Hulu and Disney Plus and all those things. So maybe I'm a hypocrite. But Woody Allen, have you watched Manhattan or Annie Hall recently?
Not recently, no.
Not since I had to in a college film class.
Okay, so in Manhattan, he's dating that Hemingway girl, and she's 16. And then in Annie Hall, which won Best Picture and everything, he's got a friend who's a very minor character who's only in it a couple times. He's this tall guy with a beard. And he goes, he has to bail Woody Allen out of jail. And he goes, you know what, you stopped me. You know what I was doing is I had twins, 16-year-old twins. The math and the joke is like the math of that. He does some kind of math joke. But it was, I guess, in like the 70s, if the girl was over 16, it was very permissible. Because these were movies that, Annie Hall is considered one of the great movies of all time.
So, but you're not talking about the Diane Keaton role. There was someone else in it?
No. He doesn't date a 16-year-old in that. In Manhattan, he dates a 16-year-old. It's like what the movie's about.
Well, it was a simpler time.
But no, it's just a one-off joke in Annie Hall. And that's the only thing in Annie Hall that has anything to do with any underage girls. It's the only thing. But it's like the joke's it's like a clever joke that the guy does, like, because it shows how like Hollywood the guy is. Like he says it in a way that shows like how he's not a very deep guy. Like but he does say I was with 16-year-old twins, and that's incest basically, and also they're minors. So what I'm gleaning from that is in the 70s, and if you listen to Christine, they're getting a Kennedy Award. Kiss, Christine 16. He talks about in Christine 16 sitting in front of the high school waiting for girls to come out.
Yes, but they also speak to her experience. She's been around, but she's young and clean. So everything's okay.
Yeah, they didn't think that out.
She's been around.
They're getting honored by the government. They're getting the Kennedy. Well, you know that the Kennedy Awards have been taken over by the government, by the federal government, and they're giving Kiss as one of the people being honored which is funny because of the Epstein list, and then all these. Kiss has a million songs about banging chicks under 18. So this year's honorees are Kiss, Kid Rock, and Scott Baio.
Yes. Scott Baio.
Very quickly, let's do this. So anyway, the 70s, it wasn't that long ago. It was only in the, 50 years, some odd years ago. But here we are. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Hardy, that mall you went to, right, not that far from Amherst, is like a very dangerous mall. They've had multiple shootings there the last couple of years. Someone was killed there at the barber shop or salon or something. So don't go to that mall too often.
No,
especially at night.
I don't think I'll ever go to that mall again, and I don't think my wife or daughter will either. They had heard about it as a place to go do some shopping and get some stuff done, but A, they didn't find most of what they were looking for, and B, it was not a great place. It was not a great.
No, not at all. You should have went to the Yankee Candle outlet, the factory. You were right there.
Ooh, do they make the candles there?
I got dragged
yes,
to that
they
once.
do.
Yes.
Right around the corner, and it's literally probably 15 minutes from the Route 9 in Amherst.
Oh boy, Hardy could have put his hands in his pockets and gone leg to leg while he watched it.
He could have dipped them in wax.
I mean, oh boy, you could have seen how they make the candles. That would have been a lot of fun.
I
would have enjoyed it.
And I'm surprised that the mall that has a entire Sears-like store, an anchor store built on damaged products being somehow dangerous. That
There's a truck driving school in there. In that mall.
Well, that ain't easy to do. That's a double clutch, my friend. And if you're driving oil rigs, that's the risky business.
There was a food court in that mall, and it was like 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Should be hopping, and most of the restaurants were closed, and the ones that were open had like 4 people sitting at the the big thing of tables. I'm like, can we go? Can we go back to Amherst and go to that pizza place I keep hearing about? That's what I want.
Let's
go.
There's a place in the food court just like prison, and it was just you got a tray with like little squares in it, and they would just slop stuff onto it for people having trouble like getting back into the real world.
Oh, right.
Want a little taste of prison. They just had one called gruel. Just what is this? Gruel. Like an olive. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The Patriots played yesterday. We will have everything for you.
You're listening to Touch.
our Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, the Patriots played at home yesterday against a team by name of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That is correct. Aaron Rodgers, now a Pittsburgh Steeler, making a visit to Foxborough yesterday, and the Patriots were ready.
Stevenson hands on knees. He takes the handoff, runs through a big hole right side, and then he lost the ball. A fumble that squirms out and near midfield, scooped up by the Steelers. So Ramondre Stevenson had a nice hole to run through, but unfortunately, after the fumble issues a year ago, they rear their ugly head again here in this situation. Stevenson with a turnover for the Patriots on the first drive.
Oh, God.
Okay.
More Zoe to come. This is just, he was just getting warmed up. He's just clearing his throat. It was a banner day for Zolak watching that yesterday.
Saw some of the at the end of the post game, the fifth quarter, when he was sitting there with I can't remember,
Rochi and Fourier, and they were getting ready to throw it back to the studio, and they said, "Zoe, unless you have anything else," he said, "Nope." Yeah. He emphatically shook his head no. Utterly disgusted.
Nothing else to say about that.
The best part about that Ramondre fumble is it came one play after Drake May should have been intercepted. Again, he overthrew a guy. It was, again, right to either a linebacker or a defensive back who dropped it.
So watching the game again, I counted 3 plays that could have been turnovers on that drive.
There was one that was on that drive, yes.
Yes. 3 plays, including the near pick that you just mentioned, John. So Steelers would capitalize on that, and then they would add to their lead.
Rodgers takes the snap, throws it for Metcalf in the end zone. He leaps and he makes the catch over Davis. Is he inbounds? He is.
Big time.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Big time Hall of Fame throw. That, young guys, is how you throw the back shoulder fade stop. Gorgeous. And you can't defend it. That is pretty.
Yeah, that was a great throw.
That was a great throw. And again, talking about Christian Gonzalez last week and how he could impact that game. On that particular throw from Aaron Rodgers, who looks like vintage Aaron Rodgers in that, doesn't matter who's covering him.
Right, and that he did look like vintage Aaron Rodgers, but I got rare texts from Bert during the game saying about how bad Aaron Rodgers looks. So now you got to see with your own eyes.
No, he's not good.
Yeah.
He's not good. I mean, Pittsburgh had 100 yards over the last 3 quarters. He's not good.
Yeah.
The Patriots kept giving him the football. Eventually, a Hall of Famer is going to complete a pass.
Yeah, you don't turn the ball over 5 times and win a game.
But
in everything else, they dominated. I know. Well, we're going to get to more highlights, I'm sure, but go ahead.
On that particular drive, the one that made it 14-0, you remember the Patriots had him pinned inside the 10-yard line. They got a sack on 3rd and 6, and Alex Austin got called for holding to keep the drive going. Marcus Jones got called for a 15-yard penalty for going low on a blocker up the sideline. I mean, they kept giving Pittsburgh chance after chance after chance. Pittsburgh's not good. Bert sat in here Friday and said, I understand what Pittsburgh's doing. They're swinging for the fences. Their roster's about to age out. A lot of their key players are about to age out, so they took a swing for the fences. That team's not going anywhere.
No.
That team is terrible.
And the Pats were snake bit a couple of times. There were a couple of real questionable calls. The low blocking call that you just mentioned, John, I don't even think he was going for the blocker. He was going for the runner, and he kind of got
trying to go around the bigger guy and cut him out. Yeah.
Okay, but still, that's a legitimate call.
Yeah.
There were a couple others that were questionable. Now, is it why the Patriots lost the game? No, but not much right going for them yesterday. One thing that was going right was Hunter Henry.
Play fake, drop by May, throws it to Henry, leaks out, left pylon, touchdown, Patriots!
Well, you get the penalty to belly out, because that was going to be an incomplete ball. But you take advantage of mistakes. It's a great play fake by Drake May, and he slipped Hunter Henry out in the flat, wide open.
So Hunter Henry has become the dependable one that he can go to, I would say. And we saw flashes of this in weeks 1 and 2, but Henry yesterday, 8 catches for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns on 11 targets. So he is the closest thing that Drake May has right now as a go-to. All right, I can always get it to Hunter Henry, and we can pick up some yards here. What else happened yesterday? You mentioned 5 turnovers. That is correct.
Shotgun snap to Maye. Double clutches. Throws it in the end zone. Intercepted. He had an open man running the back line, but he threw the ball into the hands of a Steeler. The ball might have been tipped coming out of his hand. Stephon Diggs was back there for New England.
He was wide open in that first hole. He took too long to throw it.
And an interception for the Steelers.
Yeah, in the end zone. That's great.
17-play drive, and they get nothing. 17 plays. And I don't know if you remember earlier in that drive, Vrabel went for it on 4th and 1 at his own 15-yard line and made it with Ramondre.
So that was 14-7 nearing the end of the first half.
14-7.
You've got a chance to make it 14-10. It's 3rd down. Just don't do anything dumb here. Get away with a field goal. Go into the locker room only down 4.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
And you wind up turning the ball over, but they almost turned the ball over 2 or 3 times on that drive before they got there.
Yeah, maybe that was the one I was thinking of, John, where the turnovers were it was only a matter of time. They were gonna cough the ball up at some point on that drive, and 17 plays it took them to do it, but they did it.
Yeah, Vrabel 4th and 1 goes for it on his own 15. They get it. Next play, Maye throws an interception. It's overturned on replay, if you remember correctly. Ball was trapped. Hunter Henry, the play after that, catches the football, looks like he fumbles it, recovered by Pittsburgh, but you see it was correctly called that he bobbled it, never had control of it. But it was as if death was like hovering over them that entire drive.
Like they wanted to give it away.
Over. Yeah.
They just couldn't wait. We're trying to cough this ball up. Please.
Take it.
How are we going to do it? Well, Ramondre Stevenson doesn't leave any ambiguity when it comes to coughing the ball up.
Handoff Stevenson, tripped up behind the line, but he surges forward with a dive. Ramondre Stevenson is down with the ball loose, and it's a touchback. It is a fumble. The second lost fumble today by the Patriots.
He fumbled. He just fumbled.
In this case, Ramondre Stevenson fumbled.
All you have to do is wipe your hand across his arms, and he's going to cough that ball up. You don't have to punch it out. You don't have to do the uppercut. Just get your hand anywhere near that ball, swipe at that ball, and he will give it up.
Okay, first 3 NFL seasons, Ramondre fumbled the ball a total of 7 times, lost fumble 7 times. His last 18 games now, 9 fumbles.
Okay, so here's an inarguable thing, is that he is a detriment to the team no matter what he's doing. I know he had a good game 2 weeks ago. No matter what he does, it is not. It's not worth turning the ball over like that. The Patriots played well yesterday. They did. They dominated that game. They should have won by at least 2 touchdowns. They should have handily beat the Steelers. You turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win that game. That's like things that young teams do. Like Maye's going to make mistakes like that. Like he's going to throw interceptions. Like that's going to happen. But Maye looks really good. Your defense is playing a lot better. The offensive line is okay. Like everything is working, and that's great. And so every game Maye plays good, I look as a victory for the Patriots because I don't believe that they are anywhere near a playoff team. However, if you're a new coach and all that's happening, this isn't your guy. You have an opportunity now to send a message that, look, we can't put up with this, and cut Stevenson. In the offseason, when they got Henderson, who, by the way, is no great shakes either so far, Henderson's no game breaker thus far in the regular season. It's very early into his career, so we'll put our finger in the dam right now.
Yeah, Ashton Genty hasn't looked good either.
Well, he was all right yesterday.
But the point is, it's much different than what you thought.
Yes, exactly. But he is. Ashton Genty was a high first round pick. He's a high second round pick. I mean, he should have. He should. If he's not good, if he's not really good, that's a huge whiff. Anyway, so you got to cut Stevenson because first of all, it can't hurt you. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he was averaging 100 yards a game. If you fumble that often, that's far worse than anything good that you're doing. So He's not your guy. It doesn't hurt the team that much. I mean, it improves the team. I'd cut him.
They just started a new 4. This is, I think, year 1 of a 4-year contract extension. But I don't care. You have how much cap room you can. Whatever cap hit it is. And by the way, I looked it up last night. It's not a ton.
No, it can't be a ton.
It's not a ton.
No, it's a running back 4-year extension.
Rid of a guy like that.
Yeah, there's no way they guaranteed him a ton of money.
Why would you, as a general manager, as a head coach, continue to actively sabotage the quarterback who is, I agree with you, getting better every week? He didn't throw a good interception. He should have been picked off at least one more time, maybe 2. But ultimately, this team is now competitive in games where they weren't last year. Why force them to take steps back? This guy, for whatever reason, can't hold on to the football. At the very least, he shouldn't play. And I agree, he's probably better off going somewhere else.
Well, I don't know what good it does keeping him on the roster if he's not going to play.
In case Henderson gets hurt.
But then you're not using him and you're not making a statement. You've benched him. And now there's a guy on the roster that's suiting up every Sunday that isn't going to play. Just in case Henderson gets hurt, then play Gibson. If you're going to, I mean, look, man, you can get a street free agent running back and put him as your third running back. I wouldn't be concerned about that. But Ramondre Stevenson now is a liability. He is. And he talked after the game. I mean, he knows he could get cut. If he was listening to this right now, I'm sure he wouldn't be thrilled to hear about us talking about how he should get cut. But I don't think he would think, well, that's completely out of nowhere and unfair.
I lean in your direction, but Mike Vrabel was talking after the game about how they need him.
Yeah, but he was also talking after the game. So let him sit on this for a little while and let him think about it and let him talk to his guys and let's see what he thinks today or tomorrow.
There's especially the one at the goal line. There's no excuse for that.
No, he was making like a second effort.
There's no scenario that you can put yourself in where you say, okay, but we can keep him around because we can hand him the ball in this situation. Where? At midfield and cough it up there? Where? On the goal line where you're just trying to punch it in? Where? There's no place now where you're going to feel confident giving him the ball.
Well, if you're short yardage back and he fumbles this much, that's not what you want because you're by design running him into traffic. And where there's going to be a lot of contact. So, like Lamar Jackson, you live with fumbles because he's scattering around and he's got like the ball like in his palm and he's like, going at 100 miles an hour and da-da-da-da-da. But if you're 4th and 1 and you put a guy in, he's running to contact. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
The other part of this is Mike Tomlin was talking after the game, and they asked him about Ramondre fumbling the football, and he said something really dangerous for the future. It was a point of emphasis for us during the week.
Oh, yeah.
To get the ball away from this guy. He fumbled the ball 7 times last year. We went over this. If you can try and strip this kid, the ball is gonna wind up on the ground.
Yeah, and it's a miracle that the game was this close when you turned it over 5 times. I mean,
that's how bad. Getting back to where we started, that's how bad Rodgers is. That's how bad the Steelers are. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, but the Steelers' offense has put up points, and so credit the Patriots' defense a little bit too. And also remember, like talent-wise on paper, the Steelers are far more talented than you are. And you outplayed them by a lot. These wins will come, right? These wins will come as this thing gets going. It's too much 3 games into a season as Vrabel to turn everything around. But if I'm a Patriot fan, based on what I've seen the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, there are signs of life out there.
Well, there's signs that you have a quarterback, and just give Vrabel time. Let him cut Stevenson because that's a move that a ballsy new coach that's not indebted to anyone and is not, isn't the guy that took these guys can get away with. Let's break. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
As we were just talking about, Patriots lost to Pittsburgh 21-14 in Foxborough yesterday. Patriots turned the ball over 5 times. The offense allowed 5 sacks. Drake made 2 touchdown passes to Hunter Henry in the loss. Patriots are 1-2. They host Carolina on Sunday. Panthers are 1-2. They shut out Atlanta yesterday 30-0. Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay 7-3. Christopher Morel, 4 RBIs for the Rays. They avoid being swept. Red Sox are a game up on both Cleveland and Houston for the second wild card in the American League with 6 to go. They're off tonight. They visit first place Toronto tomorrow night. And the Bruins lost their preseason opener 5-2 to the Washington Capitals at TD Garden last night. They visit the New York Rangers tomorrow evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by AZEK Exteriors. For over 25 years, AZEK has delivered low-maintenance, enduring beauty that outperforms wood. AZEK won't rot, keeping your home better protected. Don't cut corners. Use AZEK trim, made in America. Visit AZEKexteriors.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Stevenson hands on knees. He takes the handoff, runs through a big hole right side, and they lost the ball. A fumble that squirms out to near midfield, scooped up by the Steelers.
Oh, God.
Shotgun snap to make. Double clutches. Throws it in the end zone. Intercepted. He had an open man, but he threw the ball into the hands of the Steelers.
Wide open in that first hole. He took a long throw.
Handoff Stevenson. Tripped up behind line, but he surges forward to the dive. Ramondre Stevenson is down with the ball loose, and it's a touchback. It is a fumble. The second lost fumble today by the Patriots.
He just fumbled.
In this case, Ramondre Stevenson fumbled.
Our Toucher and Hardy, the Patriots yesterday, 5 turnovers, lose by a touchdown to, and I'm glad that everyone finally got to see Aaron Rodgers in all his glory, as he is no good, as you saw, and now everyone can look back and see what I went through last year.
The best was, and I thought of you because I'm watching him, an incompletion. He pulls the Peyton Manning, gives the grimace at a receiver for running the wrong route. He gets sacked and starts begging for penalties. He threw an incompletion and was upset at the official about a hold. He was bitching and moaning for most of the day when in reality he just wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Now, the Patriots defense had something to do with that. But
that interception by Spillane was an incredible play by Spillane, that he was standing in the middle of the field.
Rodgers threw it right to him.
No, he threw it in his chest. Spillane wasn't even moving. Spillane would tell you. Spillane was standing in the middle. Standing.
Yep.
When I say standing, he had his feet on the ground. He was not in movement, and the ball hit him right in the chest. They were obviously in some sort of zone where Spillane dropped back and stood there.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers threw the ball directly to him. And I've seen it before. I saw him last year throw an interception into Leonard Williams, who's like 340 pounds, into Leonard Williams' chest. And Leonard Williams got a pick 6 off of it. Into a defensive. Leonard Williams dropped back about 3 yards off the snap to fall into like a zone. And Rodgers just hit him square in the chest, and off he went. He was so close to the line of scrimmage, no one could tackle him because they were already engaged with other people.
Spillane ran the ball back to the Pittsburgh 11, and that led to that Ramondre goal
Stevenson
line fumble.
Yeah. Right.
So 5 turnovers. Remarkable that the game was as close as it was, and that the Patriots actually had a chance to drive down the field and tie the game. This play is going to get a lot of conversation. The fumbles, Ramondre Stevenson, again, of course, we talked about a lot today, and we'll talk about more of that. But this play in particular here, to try and salvage something, just Drake made to Demario Douglas.
Drake takes the snap. Blitzer's coming. Throw left, caught by Pop Douglas. He curls back, and he is tackled shy of the line to gain, it appears. Made the catch, tried to step around a defender, and he is brought down in the open field.
You're not getting enough from number 3 in this offense. You're not. He's not doing enough. You can't run a route 3 yards short of the sticks. Is it the call or the player? It's both.
That was 4th and 1.
It's the player.
Yeah, that was your ball game. So what did Mike Vrabel have to say about that?
Looked like they pressured us, and Drake got the ball out. And again, probably have to just drop step and be able to knife and know those are going to be bang bang plays and try to split them and get the first down. Hard to circle around some defenders. Didn't have the best view of it. I would say that the decision that Pop made wasn't the right one there, just because we didn't get it.
No, it wasn't the right decision. Obviously, it was a very stupid decision. And even yesterday, I heard people going, "Well, Demario Douglas is going to be good. Demario Douglas is going to be good." I understand that the Patriots don't have any receivers, and I understand that the Patriots have sucked at drafting receivers. You got to stop willing Demario Douglas into being something. He's not.
And at the very
he
end,
could be your 5th receiver on. He could be a 5th receiver on a team,
Right, but for a guy that you need to, at the very least, get to the sticks on a 4th and 1 with the game on the line, and he doesn't do it, then he's not the guy.
Yeah, when he caught the ball, he didn't have the first down.
No, but he could. But you don't go backwards.
No, you don't. I'm not saying you do. What I'm saying is the route was bad and the decision was bad after that.
But there's not even a problem if there's a lot of pressure on Maye to get rid of the ball and get it by the sticks. That's where the receiver comes into play. Like, all he has to do. And look, it would be close, but even if you just push forward, and at that point extend the fumble, it's no big deal. Like, at that point, extend the ball, do everything you can to just get to the line to gain. You certainly do not go backwards.
Right.
I mean, that's just, and it's not just this one play. It's just Demario Douglas. People say, oh, he's really good. Oh, he's really good. Oh, Demario Douglas has got to keep an eye on. But he's just not.
Well, therein lies the problem, and it goes back to a lot of this around Demario Douglas has to do with the offensive coordinator. Oh, the slot receiver and Josh McDaniel's offense, and Douglas, like it or not, was one of their best options last season. So you make that. Again, you make that leap.
Yeah, he was one of their best options when they don't have any options.
No option.
You make that leap, and right now, Douglas is having a hard time finding the football. Douglas is having a really hard time demanding the football anywhere for whatever reason. So I right now, evidence tells you he's not good. He's not good at all.
What did Mike Vrabel have to say about Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah, it's like you sit there and we're so excited about him, and everybody's excited about him. The fans are, and we know what his capabilities are. We got to get him back. We need him. We absolutely need him. You see what he was able to do for us last week, his ability to make some plays. And, again, we'll just have to look at the technique. We'll have to look at the ball security, but we're going to need him.
Sounds to me like he's not going anywhere.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
It does sound like that, obviously. I mean, he's saying that. But I wonder today, tomorrow, when this all starts sinking in, because, again, you can have 100 yards rushing. If you fumble the ball 2 times, I'd rather not have the 100 yards rushing. I'll take and Ramondre Stevenson, I understand he broke tackles, and 2 weeks ago he looked good. He did. But he doesn't look like an elite running back. He's not someone that you're like, oh, my God, this guy's unbelievable.
It's actually better in the passing game the first 2 weeks.
Go watch Indianapolis's running back yesterday. If you want to see a guy that's just will not go down, is juking guys, just fighting through tackles. I mean, Fred Taylor. I mean, if you're Jonathan Taylor, sorry, Fred Taylor. I'm an old man. It's Jonathan Taylor. But there are running backs you look at and you're like, okay, like if you have a game like that, you can fumble the Stevenson. No, there's everything. Every fumble negates, let's say, 50 yards. Like and fumbling at the goal line negates 100 yards. Again, he's not worth it. And I think with a new regime, while you're turning around the culture of the team, cutting him is a good move. That's all. I think that cutting him makes a statement, says we're not going to tolerate these things. There are going to be repercussions if you make these mistakes. Continue to make these mistakes. If you continue to make these mistakes, there's going to be repercussions. I think that sends a huge message to the team. And it says, tighten up or you're gone.
Right. And even on the heels of those comments in the postgame, we need him. I know what I said afterward. We need him. But the more I thought about it as we got together, what we don't need is somebody who can't handle the football, and in every possession for this team all season long is going to be precious, and you can't afford to give up the ball. We can't afford to give it up one time. If we want to win as many games as we think this team is capable of, we're not going to be able to cough the ball up, guys, ever. And that's why he's gone. That's why he changed.
They should have won yesterday by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it was, a lot of it was Ramondre Stevenson fumbling on the goal line. A lot of it was Ramondre Stevenson losing the ball. I mean, you're not going to win a game where you turn it over 5 times. You're just not. And they outplayed the Steelers, and there's a lot to feel good about. But this is a bad team getting into it with a new regime. They don't have a lot of talent on that field. And they outplayed the Steelers, so you should feel good about that. Maye looks great, but I would cut Stevenson if it was me. All right, There were other games, including some on Saturday. We will get to a little bit of that in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots were beaten yesterday 21-14 by Pittsburgh in Foxborough. The offense turned the ball over 5 times and allowed 5 sacks of quarterback Drake Maye in this one.
I think it hurts. I think something to learn from. It was a long season. Defense played their butts off. And the guys in the locker room are playing hard. They're fighting hard. So, it's tough and it stings. And, just knowing we hurt ourselves, and that's what costed us.
Maye threw for 268 yards, 2 touchdowns to Hunter Henry, and an interception in the end zone, and didn't do enough to support a pretty good afternoon by the defense. They allowed just over 100 yards of offense by Pittsburgh over the final 3 quarters. Aaron Rodgers' touchdown pass to Calvin Austin with just over 2 minutes left was the difference. Patriots are 1-2. They played Carolina in Foxborough on Sunday. Panthers are 1-2. They beat Atlanta yesterday 30-0. Red Sox are down 3-0 after the first inning last night. They never caught up, losing 7-3 to Tampa Bay. Connolly early went 4 innings and took the loss. Sox are a game up on both Cleveland and Houston for the second wild card with 6 to go. They're in Toronto tomorrow night. And the Bruins allowed 4 goals in the first period last night on their way to a 5-2 home loss to the Washington Capitals. This is their first exhibition game of the season. Morgan Geekie a goal in the loss. The Bruins visit the New York Rangers tomorrow night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the crispy fried twin catch with North Atlantic cod and crispy shrimp. Available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Now the first meeting between North Carolina and UCF goes the way of the Knights. And they really didn't have too much of a sweat about it. They dominated this game. Offensively, defensively, special teams was even better. 34-9 is the final score.
You were watching football in the 4 o'clock window. You heard Tom Brady talking about this.
Ben Johnson, he's tough on me, and he's tough on me in front of everyone else on the team. The point, to prove he's no bigger than anyone else. I will be a better quarterback because of Ben. Williams told us because of that detail and how demanding that he is. As for whether there's any aftermath, we meet after every practice to go over things. We're close, but it can get spicy. Tom, I think you can relate.
Yeah, you think second and short, and Swift just tackled immediately, and he did not get there.
What do you mean? I had such a player-friendly coach, and Coach Belichick. He always tell me how great I did. There was a high demand of excellence, let's say that. And believe me, when you're a pro quarterback, you'd much rather have your coach be hard than easy. Sometimes the growing pains is, I got to get these guys outside of their comfort zone from a coaching standpoint to help them grow and to understand the magnitude and the trust that the organization is giving to them. I think a big part of a head coach that's very in your face and very technical is it does show the rest of the team that if I can pick on Caleb or I can pick on Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, although I don't think they pick on Peyton Manning very much. If they can pick on me, they can pick on anybody.
Williams on a design run gets a good kick-out block from Piven and then slides down. He's running more. So you felt that way? Did you know that when you were younger, when that was happening, that you were kind of setting the example? Like, does Caleb know that? That's part of this?
Of course not. I used to think, I'm going to kill this guy. Doesn't he know how many Super Bowls I've won? I mean, what are you talking about? And then you break the meeting and you'd see it and all your teammates would come over to your locker and hug you, be like, you okay, bro? And then, you just get used to it, and that's how everyone gets coached.
All right, so Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls as a NFL coach. How is he doing with UNC? Well, Bert was
not talking about this.
Texting us on Saturday afternoon, all of us. We were in a group chat, and it was funny because when he texted, it was 13-0, and then it got to be 13-3. And so I went, I was out, but I was like, I'm going to look on my phone, like, see what's happening. And UCF got the ball with like a minute left and just ran down the field and got a touchdown. And we're just like, all right, this is enough's enough. And then it was 23 at the half.
Playing with you, that's what we've had.
And then they got the ball in the second half and on the first possession scored a touchdown. So they were just like, all right, enough of this. And this is University of Central Florida. I mean, again, this isn't Ohio State or Penn State or Georgia. This is UCF.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so they get killed. UNC's got to be going, what the hell's going on? They brought in all those transfers. They're paying their quarterback a lot of money, and he sucks. And before the game, they had a video. It's before the game on the sideline. Belichick and Jordan is who apparently is sending subliminal messages with her outfits. I guess what the purse, the see-through purse with the highlighted scraps of paper, were receipts. But I don't know what
they're keeping receipts.
I don't know what receipts you're handing in. Like what has any, like if you guys get married, that doesn't change anything. If you guys break up, that doesn't change anything. What receipts are there? What that you're going to become? Does she really think this is still going to become a thing? Like a global thing that's loved? It's never happening. Again, she backed the wrong old disgusting horse, is what I'm telling you. So anyway, this video went viral, as they tend to do. And I have some response to the video that we're on.
Okay, so
I'm not on Twitter. These have been printed out for
people
me.
critiquing and analyzing Jordan on the sideline pregame with Belichick.
This is Daddy, I need $20 for the concession stand before the game starts.
It's a classic. Good.
Babe, don't forget to take your pills. And then she hands him his Clemson UNC. This is a good one. They play Clemson in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Clemson UNC will be at 10 a.m. on the Cartoon Network. Jordan, Bill, suck in your gut. I'm not reading that one. Why has she got to be on the sideline for real? What other coach constantly does this? Such a superiority complex. Again, just put yourself in the situation of he was with the Patriots and like on the sideline. This isn't pomp and circumstance time. This is while the team is getting ready. His girlfriend is like, who's dressed up in like a outfit, like a Patriots outfit with like Daisy Dukes Patriots shorts and some kind of Patriots tight ass jersey, is sitting there, whispering in his ear and taking his time away. If I'm UNC and you're getting killed, if you're winning by 50, who cares? But if you're getting killed, I'm thinking, what the F are you doing before the game? Start talking to someone because nothing you're doing is working.
Talk to a coordinator. Talk to a player. Talk to somebody other than your girlfriend there. It's time to focus in now. We're well into the season.
And usually I would tell you it doesn't matter, but just for optics, I mean, you're asking alumni for money. You got to pay this NIL money. I mean, you're asking people to give you money. You're asking people to give your players money. And I mean, I understand you have the brains of Mike Lombardi making you the 33rd NFL team. Because obviously if, let's take a bad team, Cleveland, who won yesterday. If Cleveland played UNC really give them a run for their money with that lineup. I mean, they brought in people. They expanded the budget of the team. They can't do anything. But Bill was talking after the loss of UNC, and he is...
eloquent as always.
Yes.
I'm curious, out of Max, when he came in there and then throughout the rest of the game, did you feel like he gave a better sense of a vertical offense for you guys?
No.
Thank you, Amos.
Right.
Can you picture the noises that guy makes while he's having sex?
Oh, yes, I can. Before that sad puff of dust comes out.
Over. It's like when someone it's very Indiana Jones when they're dusting off the ark, and then like all of a sudden, it's the way Roddy Piper would blind his opponents.
Oh no! I thought maybe we would go to overtime tonight.
No.
Oh, no.
So there's absolutely no way he's coaching this team next year, correct?
This season has 4-8 written all over it. I'm thinking that maybe he says, you know what, I'm done.
I heard his name nationally brought up as a possibility to coach the NFL again.
Oh.
Which is just so funny to me that an owner is going to go, oh, yeah, let's take the old loser that can't even win a college football game and put him in charge of our program.
Oh, college much different, Fred.
Tar Heel is a loser.
Yeah, much easier.
Much different.
Much easier. Beating UCF is much easier. See, there's 32 NFL teams. There's an infinite amount of college teams.
And they get the best players from that infinite amount of college teams to play on those 32 teams.
Right, exactly. They got to turn it around. Clemson's really struggling, Fred. They're really struggling to start the season.
Clemson is really struggling.
On the hot seat.
And Clemson is supposed to, at the beginning of the year, Clemson was supposed to have 5 first-round picks on it. So Clemson's got its own problems.
Yep.
Clemson's performing worse than UNC. I mean, they're way more disappointing than UNC. But I think Sweeney retires if Clemson loses to. I think he's got to quit. He's just got to quit the Clemson game. I mean, they have they really legitimately are supposed to have 5 first-round picks on that team, and no one's playing like it.
You know, whether it's irony or coincidence, I'm not sure, but Sweeney's sounding an awful lot like Belichick in his final year as Patriots head coach, defending his program, talking about all of the ACC titles that they've won and all the success that the program has had. And even the most diehard Clemson fans are like, it's the ACC. Yeah, you're supposed to win the conference. You know, that's not what we're talking about here. You know, that's not how you're judged when you're the head coach of Clemson. But he's doing a lot of resting on his laurels right now as they navigate their way through this. What else did Belichick say about the team here?
Second row in the middle. Yeah, Coach, the players came in and said they felt like they weren't prepared outside of some missed tackles.
I can see why women would love him. I mean,
damn.
I mean, he definitely exudes sexuality. I mean, he is really, really sexy with that stuff.
Second row on the right.
At what point, if you're Belichick, do you realize, you know, this woman is coming on the field dressed like in a way to say, look at me, and literally like wearing a costume, not scantily clad, just wearing a costume. I mean, there's times she's had pants and shirts. I mean, she's wearing like a costume.
As a matter of fact, I think Jordan's going to be a very popular Halloween outfit there in Chapel Hill this year. You get yourself some snakeskin and some ridiculous looking UNC gear, and you get all dressed up.
Well, it speaks of old money and class in the runways of Milan, the way that she is dressing. But wouldn't you, if you're Belichick, and you see the first time it happens, and you see that you've been videotaped on the sideline talking to her, when she continues to do it, wouldn't you go, huh, this woman is deliberately using me before games to get people talking about her? At what point would you notice that? I would notice it the first time. Like the first time she came on the field, I might be like, oh, hey. Like, say he's madly in love with her, and you're like, okay, hey, yeah, nice to see you. It's the first game. It's my first game as coach. Okay, yeah. Then I see that she's opened the door at halftime for the players to go in the locker room. Now I'm thinking, all right, this is on TV. This has gone viral. Huh. And then she keeps doing it. It's not good luck, certainly. It's not. The cosmic forces are not aligning for her being a good luck charm to you. It cannot be a superstition, because the superstition would be her not being there.
It's just part of the pomp and circumstance that we don't understand. It's a Southern culture thing, like the outfits. That's like cotillion attire. That's you wear for your like Southern Belle debutante coming out party. Well, and we're just not used to it in the Northeast.
Well, Bear Bryant, before every Alabama game during the national anthem, would stick his hand on his wife's pants. So I mean, it's a long-standing Southern football tradition.
Second row in the middle.
But it goes along with everything in this relationship. If I saw that the girl I was dating was getting attention for talking to me before games, I would thereby go, stop talking to me before games to get attention. And if that broke up the relationship, then I would realize she was only dating me to get attention.
Yes.
One time I understand. Okay, thank you. It's my first game. I appreciate you
Sure.
being here. That's great.
Right.
Now you're not doing this for me. I don't need you here. I like that you're in the building. I would like to see you right after the game's over. I can't get enough of you. I adore you. That all I can understand. But call me cynical, but at a certain point I go, you're not doing this for me. You have nothing to tell me. You're doing this specifically so people will talk about this. I am being used in a way that makes me look bad. Huh. Like, he's a doddering idiot. You understand that.
But I love you.
I don't care.
Like, she's got so much to say to him before the game.
All right, Ryan says there's one final clip here that might actually make you feel some sympathy for Belichick, the way he sounds. That I don't even know if there's a lot of throat clearing in this. This is just him actually talking about the state of things.
Well, it's still a work in progress, and we'll continue to work through it. It's a good time now to kind of reevaluate, look back at all 4 games, not just the last one or the first one or some other one, and try to take a look at on a composite, see where we are on everything. Some things that we can do better, some things we probably need to move on from, some things we probably need to add, and maybe do in a little bit different direction. So we'll talk about all that, evaluate it this week, and see what lies in the weeks ahead.
Oh, I feel much better.
No, I
See
don't
what
feel that.
lies in the weeks ahead. Is that him blowing his nose, or is that his throat?
That's his throat.
All right. Well, suffice it to say, he's embarrassing himself. All right. Mike Reese will join us in just a moment to talk about your New England Patriots.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
like these.
Like to climb up a tree.
You know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now,
Me.
more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy, on the Sports Hub.
Continuing to believe in each other.
Aaron Rodgers, after settling down on defense, those are a couple things that stood out to me. Hunter Henry, another positive. The connection with Drake Maye.
How'd you think Maye played?
Thought I right down the middle, Fred. I think he's got 6 multi-turnover games in his career, and they're 0-6 in those games. So you look at the 2 plays. The throw in the end zone, it was too flat, needed to be higher. That's a costly mistake. And then the fumble, I sort of chalk that up to a young player still getting that experience where when the play is over and there's nothing good that can happen from you when the pocket is muddled like that and you're trying to extend a play. Those plays hurt him. So I balance those with a lot of the other good things that we saw from him, using his legs and continuing to gain a greater command of the offense.
He's so natural when he runs, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's smooth. He doesn't seem harried. He seems in complete control.
And not only that, he doesn't seem all that fast. And I remember thinking this when we first saw him. He's got, I don't know if it's a sneaky evadability or maybe his speed is just doesn't translate well when you're watching it on TV, but seems like they have trouble getting at him, and whether he's just taking good angles or whether he's just faster than he appears, he's really, really effective when he is either forced to or decides to take the ball as himself.
He's smooth is what the thing is, I think, is that he doesn't look like he's trying to run fast. But what do you think, Mike?
I agree, guys. And I think when you look to something to build on, how that puts the defense in conflict. So like a 4th down play when you're rolling him out and he can get that yardage with his legs if it's there, or he could throw the ball. I think that's what you're going to be building on in the future.
Okay. Now let's get to the negative. 5 turnovers. That can't happen. If you're Vrabel, look, it takes time to build culture. The team played better than the Steelers yesterday, and they don't have as much talent, and it's just a fact. So Vrabel has shown his worth as a coach. This isn't going to – you're not – with this talent and everything else, you're not going to turn it around, in 3 weeks. What do you do with Ramondre Stevenson at this point?
So I just want to compliment you both for starting with the positive. I was like, what is happening here right now? That was very great.
Because I'm trying to teach the Patriot fans this. I'm trying to teach the Patriot fans that, look, you were going crazy with these 11-win things, that, games like this with a young quarterback and a new coach and you're bereft of talent, games like yesterday are going to happen. There is something to be taken away from how much they outplayed the Steelers. With experience, with all of that comes, putting those games away. And that's all. Is that I want that message coming across. I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, I'm impressed. I will just say the complete disregard they showed for taking care of the football got them what they deserved.
Yes.
Right? I think we agree with that. And to answer your question, Fred, what should they do with Ramondre Stevenson? I think the reaction when it's happening right after the game is some go to the extreme, which is he should not be there anymore. I do not go there because just a week prior, we were talking about how he was a key player in their victory. So what I did, guys, is I went back, I watched the 2 fumbles multiple times. I said, what is going on here? And it looks to me like a simple technique correction. And I know what you're going to tell me, like this, he's had so many chances to correct it. And I have no response to that, but he's got 2 hands, and on both fumbles, the offhand, if it's not going to be stiff arming a defender away, it's got to be over the ball. He has to protect the ball. And so I think the answer, Fred, is drill that with him and reduce his workload until he shows you that he can do that, and hope you can build him back up again.
But at the same time, Mike, a new regime, I'm sure Mike Vrabel's looked at the film. I'm sure Josh McDaniels has too. I'm sure they saw something in this. He fumbled the ball 7 times last year, and I think it's now 9 in his last 18 games played. I don't think there's any running back that gets any kind of volume that would see the field or stay on a team just by looking at those numbers.
So I think the first part, I agree with you. There probably isn't another running back that would see that volume. But I do think there are running backs that would stay on a team, John. Like, to me, that's the extremes here that we're talking about. Like, I'm not cutting him. I don't think they're cutting him. Don't want to be like prisoner of the moment, because last week, consider what he did they probably don't win that game if they don't have Ramondre. So I think that's the balance here. And I do think, Mike Vrabel keeps talking about how the other 10 players on offense need to protect whoever has the ball. I understand what he's saying, meaning like hold your block longer, play longer than the person you're blocking. But on those 2 fumbles, I actually think that's almost giving Ramondre Stevenson too much of a break. I think he just needs to protect the ball with 2 hands. I really think it's that simple.
All right. Were you surprised when Christian Gonzalez was ruled out for the game?
So I was a little bit, Hardy. I mean, I didn't have any information one way or the other whether he was going to play. I just was looking at him in the locker room after Friday's practice. He seemed to be in good spirits and seemed to be moving well from what I saw in the limited parts that we got to watch in practice last week.
It just seems to me that, and this was a topic of discussion, especially, toward the end of the week. Would it make more sense if he's not 100% to get him out there or, sit him for another week? The one touchdown in particular that Aaron Rodgers threw, Christian Gonzalez wouldn't have made a difference. But just having a little bit more back there and something to instill some confidence on either side of the ball right now, seems to me if he's ready, I can't imagine why they would be holding him back.
Oh, I agree with you. I think if he is ready, he would play, and I think he would have made a difference, in the game, Hardy. And I was looking at their defense, and they sort of buttoned up a little bit of one of the issues they had the first couple weeks with those big plays given up, but they've only taken the ball away 3 times this season. And if one of your main parts of your team identity is protect the ball, which they didn't do yesterday, and take the ball away, be disruptive with the ball, and you only have 3 takeaways, like you're not playing to your identity based on what we've seen, especially yesterday. And I think Gonzalez would make a big difference in helping them do that.
What was your view of the 4th down play of Pop Douglas, and how do you explain his ineffectiveness through the first 3 weeks of the season?
So my view of the play is that's poor awareness, and he just needs to get up the field. And I think, how would I explain his ineffectiveness? Part of it is the personnel they're using. They're leaning more toward 2 tight end groupings, John, through especially the last couple weeks. And when you do that, you only have 2 receivers on the field, and Pop's your 3rd receiver. So one, he's not playing as much. And then I do think there's a part of his game where, like, the instincts, the football sort of savvy is maybe not at the same level of slot players that we've seen in the past. And whether it can get there, I don't know. But that play, that 4th down, I think was an example of that.
All right. What did you think of Aaron Rodgers now that you've seen him up close?
So definitely toward the end of the run here, right? It did not look good at times, but then I thought, like, at the end, when you gave him an opening, he showed you that he still got a little bit left in the tank to sort of put his foot right on your neck, right? And just
they turned the ball over 5 times. I mean, and they won by a touchdown. I don't know if he put the foot on anyone's neck. What that interception? What did Spillane do on that interception? How did he get himself in such a great position?
So he just dropped out.
Yeah.
To me on that one, Fred, I thought the key was the two edge players and Chason and Landry just sort of pinning Rodgers in the pocket there from what I saw watching it live, and then maybe a little push up the middle. So he had nowhere to go. And maybe just that, you create for the quarterback that you're rushing his process. And I think he just sort of let it go.
Yeah, you would think at 41, maybe the process wouldn't be so rushed. But there you go.
But Fred, how about this? How about he gets the ball at the end after the final turnover, and he leads him down the field. Like we got to give him a little credit for that, right?
No.
Why not?
Because the Steelers are the more talented team. The Patriots turn the ball over 5 times, which is a gift from God that you're gonna fall on that many fumbles. I mean, it's one thing to cause fumbles; it's another thing to recover them. I mean, a lot of that is luck, and you can and you win that game by a touchdown. If I'm on Pittsburgh radio right now, I'm way more pissed than I would be if I'm a Patriot fan. I'm thinking this team, who's not very good, tried to hand you a game, and you beat them by a touchdown. They outplayed you in every single way, and you're just fortunate. You were gifted a game yesterday, basically.
And the touchdown you scored was just over 2 minutes to go.
And it's not like these fumbles, like the Ramondre Stevenson fumbles, were some great, play from behind where they punching the ball out. I mean, it's Stevenson letting go of the ball. Did you see anything that the Steelers were doing that was impressive? Like sometimes you'll see a fumble and you go, "Oh Jesus, that's a great play." Guy gets in the right position and just literally punches the ball out, and there's nothing the ball carrier can really do. That's not the case with these things. I mean, New England played like an inexperienced team with not a ton of talent on it, and by fumbling and turning the ball over that many times, and the only way you can take advantage of it, you got to sneak out a touchdown, a 7-point win. No, I don't give him any credit for that. None.
All right. And I like the one thing that you said that I'm glad, because it made me think of something. I watched the 5 turnovers again, and to me, I do give the Steelers credit, particularly for the Peppers one on Gibson. I thought he just got lower than Gibson, I thought his pads were down, and made a really good play to get the ball out. And then
did you hear Peppers after the game? He was all riled up. He does not like the Patriots.
I wasn't trying to get over to see him, but I didn't.
I wasn't asking to put you in a bad position. I was just saying he was interviewed by the NFL Network radio after the game, and he was he's no fan of the boy. He took that personally. He did not. He wasn't mincing words. He did not like how the Patriots treated him. But you thought that was a good play. You thought that.
I thought that was one I give the Steelers defense credit for making the play, and then the other 4 turnovers. I put those on the Patriots, protect the ball. And I do, the Steelers were raking at the ball, but to me, everyone rakes at the ball. You should be able to protect it better than that.
No, literally every team rakes at the ball to the detriment of the team sometimes, because you'll see them going for the ball and not the tackle, as you've seen probably a million times, and, allow 5-6 more yards on that because you're just trying to get the ball out so badly. But again, the Patriots handed that game to the Steelers. I think it is something that happens early in a new coach's regime. It happens when you have a team that's not overly talented, and they outplayed the Steelers yesterday. And I look at that as a positive because I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. So wins and losses, it don't mean a ton to me right now. It's basically how the team is coming together, and I think Drake Maye, despite the turnovers, which I expect to happen for a young quarterback, looks like a legit kid that could be a top 10 quarterback in the league. Is certainly not now, but looks like he could be a top 10 quarterback in the league, and that's a lottery gift, And
I really think 2 things can be true, Fred, because I agree with everything you said. At the same time, when they hired Mike Vrabel as the coach, one of the things that I believe would be true is that this team would be more buttoned up, fewer penalties. And I'm talking about the penalties that aren't judgment calls, like some of those PI calls that you can be like, really? But more like jumping off sides, and really the fundamentals of turnovers, making good decisions. And maybe it's still early, So I have to acknowledge that, but I am a little surprised that they're not a little more buttoned up under Vrabel at this point.
Okay, so what I will tell you with that is I agree, and it's 3 games in. I think Vrabel should cut Stevenson because I think that makes I don't think, you need him this season. I don't think he's irreplaceable. And you are making – in every good game you have, 100-yard game, 2-touchdown game you have, is completely eliminated by turning the ball over 2 times. So I'd rather have the guy have 50 yards and a touchdown than 100 yards and 2 touchdowns if he's going to fumble the ball twice. I mean, the most important thing you can do is not fumble. And I think if you cut Stevenson, then you're sending a message. He's not your guy. You didn't draft him. You didn't give him the extension. You cut him, and that sends a message, and that gets things buttoned up pretty quick. That's my opinion, but what are you going to do?
And I love that you're going to that extreme. And honestly, I think people listening might agree with you. I think the one thing just to be careful of is reacting on emotion. What you can do is what they did yesterday, which was only put him out on the field for a couple snaps after the miscue to send a message and then try to build him back up. Because if you cut him, then you only have Antonio Gibson and Travion Henderson, probably promoting Terrell Jennings from the practice squad. You might have made your team less talented by doing that instead of trying to work through and coach up a problem. And again, I know what you're going to tell me. He's had so many chances and you've reached the end of the rope and the end of the line with Stevenson. And I understand that. And there, I guess I'm saying there's different ways to approach it. You're going to the highest level. I might go to the mid-level.
Okay, but if you're not going to play him a lot and he fumbles this much, I'll take a practice squad back.
Take somebody who's not talented, who's not going to turn the ball over. And it's not emotion, Mike. It's a pattern now.
Yeah, it's not based on one game. You know what I'm saying? This is if it was one game, I wouldn't say cut him under any circumstances. And if he's Jonathan Taylor, I wouldn't say to cut him. But he's Ramondre Stevenson. He's a replaceable back, and, he fumbles too much. That's all. All right, Mike. Good stuff as always. We appreciate having you on. We appreciate that you say hello to everyone and not just me, as some people do. Mike, thank you so much. Mike Reese, ESPN. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Always great being with you.
All right, nice talking to you. All right, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots turned the ball over 5 times. They lost at home to Pittsburgh yesterday, 21-14. They are 1-2. They're back home to play 1-2 Carolina this coming weekend. Red Sox lost to Tampa last night, 7-3 at George Steinbrenner Field. 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Rays to break open a close game. Sox have 6 games left. They're 1 game up on both Cleveland and Houston for the second wild card in the American League. Their next game is tomorrow night in Toronto, and the Bruins lost their first preseason game of the year, 5-2 to the Washington Capitals at TD Garden. Morgan Geekie, an early goal in the loss. Bruins have tonight off. Their next game is on the road against the New York Rangers tomorrow night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. Good luck to their ambassador, Captain Keegan Bradley, and Team USA at Bethpage. Service Credit Union. Success built on trust. Banking built on service. Visit servicecu.org/trust. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Get the most for your trade at Bernardi.
There was a former celebrity in town over the weekend. I guess he does stand-up or tell stories or something.
Yeah.
He's in a show that... He was in a show that at the time, I ruined it for Jimmy Norton. At the time that it was on, I said, oh no, this is porn for douchebags. And who was in town?
Jeremy Piven was in town, and turnabout is fair play because Jimmy Norton ruined ruined Succession for me. So the fact that you ruined Entourage for him, I'd say, all square. But I went down to see my guy Abdo for my haircut on Friday after the show. I was going to go down on Saturday. Fred, you and I were both men about town on Saturday, and I thought, it's going to be too much trying to make it over to where Abdo's shop is and also make it over to the seaport for the cliff diving. I'll just go Friday, right after the show. So I show up on Friday to see Abdo, and he says, Mr. Robert, I'm so happy you were here. You won't believe what happened. I'm like, what happened, Abdo? He said, I get a call from the Four Seasons. They said, we have biggest Hollywood star on the phone. He wants to talk to you. I said, okay. You put him on. And the man says, hello, barbershop. I said, yes, barbershop. And he goes, is this the barbershop? I said, yes, barbershop. Now, Abdo goes from 0 to enraged.
I'm getting that.
In no time.
I'm getting that.
He gets
from you.
very angry very quickly. And he says, we have major Hollywood star, #1 star in the world. He needs a haircut. I said, okay, come over. Let's send over. I give him a haircut. He said, who is it? And he tells me his name, and I get very excited. And he starts talking about this Jeremy guy who's coming over.
Okay.
And he says, this is who I think it is. And he shows me a picture on his phone. He had looked it up, and he thinks it's Jeremy Renner.
Oh.
So
who's a big star.
Yeah.
Who's actually a big star.
Major Hollywood star. He says, this guy walks into my shop.
And can I just add one thing? If the Four Seasons is making a call for you to, let you know, hey.
Right.
This isn't a guy, just calling a place. This is, the Four Seasons calling, this guy, just prepare yourself. This guy's coming in.
Right.
And Jeremy Renner, you would think, okay, well, he's a big star. He might draw a crowd. They want to make sure everything's cool.
And he says, so, waiting. He comes into my shop, and I said, who the F are you?
Right. So it's not Jeremy Renner.
It was not.
He shows me a picture of him and Jeremy Piven.
Oh.
Now, Abdo is smiling because he also smiles when he is enraged. Jeremy Piven, not really smiling. And he says, this effing guy, I keep telling him, he's not who I thought you were. And I keep telling him how great Jeremy Renner is. And this guy acts Mr. Robert, he's an effing a-hole, this guy. He doesn't want anything to do with me because I don't know. I think it's, and I'm like, Jeremy Renner? It's not Jeremy Renner. He's how he's yelling at me. He goes, it's this guy. It's this Piven. It's this Piven. So I give him a haircut, and he didn't like me. Can you believe that? I said, I can't believe anyone wouldn't like you. He said, yes. He doesn't like me. He tips me $5. I say, get the F out of my shop. You never come back.
Do you think he really said, get the F out of my shop, never come back? Is that something he would actually do?
So I'm pretty sure people come into his shop and ask him, about haircuts. And depending on how you look or his first impression of you, I believe on a weekly basis, he tells people to get the F out of his shop and never come back.
Okay, so that obviously brings to mind the soup Nazi from Seinfeld.
Sure.
And what is great about Piven is that at one point in his career, he was the guy on Seinfeld who was George in the show that Jerry and George were making about their lives. Remember, Piven was the George guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bald, short, George Costanza. And then, for some reason, he started acting like the character in Entourage, and now he can't even get a guy to give him a haircut without yelling at him.
Well,
Jeremy Piven, call ahead. Can you call ahead to the barber shop because they need to know Jeremy Piven's coming in?
But in Piven's defense, I could see why you might be put off when you go in and the guy keeps telling you, "I don't know who you are. I thought you were someone else. But I'm not excited anymore."
But it is. But here's the thing: it's Piven's fault because if Piven just goes to the concierge at the Four Seasons, "Hey, I want to get a haircut," they can call in, and even if the Four Seasons concierge, first of all, he's staying at the Four Seasons, good for him. I mean,
entourage money.
I played
man.
the same. I think he did the Wilbur. I've done the Wilbur too. It's a nice payday. It ain't Four Seasons, and you even have the concierge call over and go, "Hey, I got a guest that wants to come get their haircut. When do you have an opening?" And they go, "They have an opening," and then you go, "Fine." But if you have the Four Seasons call and go, "A major star is coming into this barber shop, like, are you prepared to have this major star?" And then you come in and you're Jeremy Piven, I'd be pissed too.
Well, whether or not Abdo told him to get the F out of his shop and never come back is up for debate. It is something Abdo would say. I'll grant you that much.
I will. I do think it's funny, though, that he took a picture with him.
That's true. After all that, you didn't like him.
I'm not impressed by you, but here, come here. Take a picture. Someone said you were famous.
Another reason why Piven might be a little angry about this.
Yeah. What was he in Say Anything where he was at the...
that's right.
He was in Say Anything. He was...
Grosse Point Blank?
Grosse Point Blank. He was in the early John Cusack movies, too, right?
I don't know.
He was in PCU?
Yes, he was in PCU, and he was one of those henchmen in... what's the beach movie with Bobcat Goldthwait?
One Crazy Summer.
One Crazy Summer. He's part of the crew of bad guys in One Crazy Summer.
He must have been down with Cusack.
That's what I'm saying. Him and Cusack were guys.
He's in Heat with De Niro and Pacino.
Is he really?
He's the doctor who patches up Val Kilmer, and then De Niro says, "Give me your shirt." And Piven's like, "My daughter gave me that. I don't care who gave it to you. Give me the shirt."
Yeah. What could have been. All right, we will go around the NFL in just a moment.
More.
Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Paisley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots turned the ball over 5 times yesterday, and that includes a pair in the Steelers' end zone, and they were beaten by Pittsburgh 21-14 in Foxborough. Maye Stevenson lost a pair of fumbles in this game, one at the goal line and another at midfield that led to an early Steelers touchdown.
I got to hold on the ball for to have value and, put value on this team. So if I can't have the ball, they don't need me.
Aaron Rodgers threw a pair of touchdown passes in this one, including a 17-yarder to Calvin Austin with just over 2 minutes left to put his team ahead. And he also passed Brett Favre to move into 4th place on the all-time passing touchdowns list. Patriots are 1-2. They host Carolina Sunday. Panthers are also 1-2. They shut out Atlanta yesterday 30-0. Red Sox blew a golden chance to gain some ground in the wild card race last night, care of a 7-3 loss to Tampa Bay. Christopher Morel, 4 RBIs for the Rays. They avoided being swept. Sox still have the second wild card in the American League, but they're only 1 game up on both Cleveland and Houston. All 3 teams have 6 games left. The next game for the Red Sox is in Toronto tomorrow night. And the Bruins lost to the Washington Capitals 5-2 in their preseason opener. Morgan Geekie and Patrick Brown, the goals in the loss. They visit the New York Rangers tomorrow evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMoore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University, where MBA and master's degree students build vital business skills through experience. Connect at northeastern.edu/business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, and 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and do all of that. Around the NFL is brought to you by Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. Starting to feel chilly around the house. Time to schedule your heating tune-up to avoid surprise breakdowns when the cold hits, plus save up to $4,400 in rebates and tax credits on new Lennox systems. Schedule at joycecool.com, celebrating 30 years. All right, Hardy, let's go around the NFL.
All right, we'll start with the game last night at MetLife Stadium. Giants hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Bit of a snoozer in the first half. Chiefs up 9-6 at the half. But then Patrick Mahomes finding a familiar friend to the Patriots people.
Pump fakes right, throws up for the end zone, and the pass is caught. Tyquan Thornton, touchdown! Kansas City, Tyquan Thornton with the TD on a 5-yard throw by Mahomes, and he threads the needle for the first Chiefs touchdown of the game.
Tyquan Thornton, 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Woo.
Yeah.
Tyquan.
How about that? What did, here we got another call here, Tyquan Thornton. This, I believe, yes, let's hear this.
Mahomes putting it up for grabs again for Thornton. That time he reached around his body to catch it at the 1. Thornton, too good.
I'm telling you, that catch is within about 3 feet of where he almost made the one before that.
All right, let's look at who he's throwing to.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Look at the top two receivers.
Tyquan Thornton and Juju Smith-Schuster, who you're both very familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Both of whom everyone's very familiar with, as they were at one point or another Patriots. Hollywood Brown, old-ass Kelsey, Noah Gray. I mean, Mahomes is Brady. Mahomes is a guy that you can just give him a collection of garbage and he'll win. I know that was their first win, but their schedule's been brutal. I mean, he's Brady. He's the best. Yeah, that's why he's better than Allen and he's better than Lamar Jackson. He just is. You can give him anything and he'll win.
But this is Brady 2006. Brady, they got rid of David Givens. They traded Deion Branch. And you had Riche Caldwell as your number one wide receiver. And the Patriots went to the AFC Championship game and should have won it. They had that big lead on Indianapolis at halftime. They should have gone to the Super Bowl in that year, too. You look at who Patrick Mahomes, they have saddled him with. And this roster is about on par with that roster as far as receivers go.
Watching Mahomes, and this is nothing new, but watching him again last night. Pressure coming, steps up into the pocket, rolls out of the pocket, rolls right, throws left. Now, I know it's got to be infuriating to watch it if it's an intense moment, but if you're a Chiefs fan, you've seen it happen enough. You see him make throws and make plays that are textbook wrong things to do, but given the talent that he's working with and the guys that he has to throw to, these are the things that you got to do sometimes to get the ball downfield, and he can do it.
He's also got the Brady luck. Did you see that backwards lateral to Pacheco?
Yeah.
That bounced off three guys, and somehow Mahomes gets over there and recovers his own fumble near the sideline.
Did Kelsey carry on or something? I didn't see it.
Yes.
As we were in break on the sideline, Andy Reid and Travis Kelsey, we've seen them before kind of get heated there, but you can sense the frustration on both sides of that story.
Yeah, Kelsey, that's a couple games now in a row that he's flipped out on the sidelines.
Reid actually threw a little shoulder at him, too.
Yeah, because, look, you screwed us in the Super Bowl. You played like crap. You hurt one of our players. You know about that, right? He admitted it. Travis Kelsey, by accident, obviously, stepped on one of his own guys and injured him. Xavier Worthy, right? Is that who he stepped on? I don't know. He stepped on.
Sure.
Part of the reason their receivers suck so bad is that they've lost a couple of them, the injury. But no, Kelsey did. He admitted it. He said, I hurt a guy. It was in week 1. He did. And so he goes, I wasn't paying attention. I stepped on him. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Idiot.
But what's happening is Kelsey should have retired.
He's going to be 36 in about a week.
He should have retired. And could he have a week where he goes off? And I mean, it doesn't have as much anymore. And people are like, see. I'm not saying he can't have like a week with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. If Tyquan Thornton can have a week, Travis Kelsey could have a week. But what I would assume is frustrating him so much, because Andy Reid's been his coach, Mahomes has been his quarterback, is that his body just won't do what it used to do. And then it's frustrating him, and he's getting angry, and he's taking it out on other people.
And he's making mistakes that you didn't see him make a couple of years ago. Last week, he had a ball bounce right off of his hands. There was nothing uncatchable about that ball. 4 catches on 7 targets yesterday. Yeah, he's not the same player he was, and he's frustrated.
Two other things real quick. You saw how Russell Wilson lit up Dallas last week. See what he did yesterday? 160 yards, 2 picks.
Yes.
Not good.
No.
And the try-hard superstar Cam Scatterbo scores a touchdown and still hasn't stopped dancing.
They love him.
They love Scatterbo.
Oh, by the way, did you see what he did at the end of the press conference? You know, Dayball's in there, and you hear some screaming in the background. And it's Scatterbo, just poked his head in and started yelling and left.
Yeah.
And, the head coach looks like this is a daily occurrence.
Listen, he was very good at Arizona State.
He is the ultimate make sure you pay attention to me guy. He's really, I'm sure if you're a Giant fan, you love him, but
I don't know
think
about
he's
that.
ridiculous.
But I wouldn't, but maybe they do. But the thing is he was like that in college, and it was rewarded.
I know.
I mean, do you remember he was thrown up on the sideline during that playoff game?
And during he made a long run, and he'll drop the ball and put his hands on his hips and start breathing really hard and flexing for the. I mean, this is what he's done his entire career, and he's been really good. But as a pro,
he's been rewarded.
As a pro, he's done nothing.
Breaking news: there's a new documentary that's going behind the scenes of Lilith Fair. So I know if you want to know what was happening backstage with the likes of Meredith Brooks and Paula Cole, now we'll finally know.
I did not work with the guy because he did not have a job at the station that I was at in Atlanta, but he was always hanging around, and he would always come in if like a Dido or someone like that was coming in. Like, he loved singer-songwriter
Is there a sad woman coming in?
And he would love this. He's the first guy I think of, and he's one of the biggest creeps I've ever met in my entire life. So strangely enough, he was very into these strong, strong women singer-songwriters. And yet he's a huge creep with women in real life.
All right, who knew?
Lilith Fair is pretty interesting that there was a time in our lives where women singer-songwriters had their own festival. I mean, there is something to be said for that.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of them. But
Well, you'll be able to watch the movie. Much-needed win for the Chiefs, 22-9 over the Giants. 1-2 on the season. Next week, they're home against Baltimore.
Oh, God. They got the short week, though. Maybe that'll help. Baltimore plays tonight, so.
Yes, they do. And Baltimore is going to be tough because they'll be pissed off coming off a loss.
Wow.
Never mind the fact the last time these two teams played, I think Baltimore won 33-6, and they didn't even have Derrick Henry then. But hey,
Baltimore, Detroit, an easy win for the Lions.
All right, let's move on here. Who do the Patriots have next week, John?
Carolina.
Oh, how was Carolina yesterday?
Penix the snap, looking right, now checks down left. Oh, yeah! Intercepted by Damani Richardson, who walks it in for a touchdown. Now Shaw Smith-Wade read the screen, picked it off after a little juggle, and it's a walk-in touchdown.
Juggling, showing off.
Yeah.
Find that. All right, so things were going well for Carolina. They were not going well for the Atlanta Falcons. So much so that there was a quarterback change in this game.
Kirk Cousins is coming to the ball game at quarterback, Arch. First throw, Drake London a slant, and he'll get almost 10.
How about that? Picking up 10 yards on his very first throw of the game.
Michael Penix, who several people at this radio station, I'll never forget. I remember where I was at one point. I was going to Prestige Car Wash in Waltham when I heard this. We're saying, Michael Penix, why aren't the Patriots, why are all you draft nerds not thinking of Michael Penix? Now, could it have said something to do with Michael Penix playing very well in a game that they happen to be watching? I believe so. But Michael Penix...
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Alex Barth was one of them. He was on Felger and Maz, and everyone was yelling and screaming. He's a gamer. He's a winner. He's who I want. Why is no one talking about the Patriots taking Penix at 3? Why is Penix? Why would you take Jaden Daniels or Caleb Willis? Penix. I am not wrong. I remember it very, very clearly. And then Kirk Cousins has the humiliation of having to come in and mop up.
Yes, Michael Penix, 18 of 36, 172 yards, 2 picks. Cousins comes in. Just a little mop-up duty, 5 of 7 for 29 yards. Didn't throw any interceptions, though. So let's check in with the head coach. I don't know. Maybe think about having a competition there for the starting quarterback position?
Did you give Kirk a chance to compete?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So Kirk will not have a chance to compete for the starting quarterback job.
And they just won't. They didn't trade him. They won't. They just have him sit there. Kirk Cousins is just going to sit there in Atlanta. That was a team a bunch of people liked, too, going into this season. They're 1-2. I mean, it's not over for them, but it's interesting. I'm going to be closely following the careers of all 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round of that draft. Just see where Michael Penix fits into all that stuff. Throws the ball like a shot put.
Atlanta's got the Commanders and Bills next.
And they deserve what they're getting because they were pretty good. They had Cousins, and they went ahead and drafted Penix in the first round when they really could have just waited and gotten someone to help them. Remember how much of a shock it was when they took Penix?
Well, they get what they deserve for not considering Bill Belichick taking over as head coach just because he wanted to run the entire organization. Now, you reap what you sow.
I mean, you look at North Carolina. I mean, they're gangbusters.
Correct.
I mean, it was 13-3 at one point in that game against UFC.
Yeah, they kept it close.
UCF.
Whatever.
Whatever. Just call them Central.
I went to college right by there. They're outside of Orlando. I was outside of Orlando.
Yeah. Just call them Central, Fred. That's what Bill did.
He called them Central?
Central.
Well, then that's Central Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, there's only
Chippewas.
There's only one Central. Let's talk about this game in Cleveland. The 2-0 Green Bay Packers visiting the 0-2 Cleveland Browns yesterday. Again, not a lot of offense in this one. 3-0 Green Bay is up at the half. And then the Browns.
Give to Judkins. Pushing. Touchdown. Quinshon Judkins. His first in the NFL. And we're an extra point away from a tie game with 3:01 to go.
10-10 ball game with just over 3 minutes left. Green Bay gets the ball. They march downfield. They set up for easy go-ahead field goal.
This is a 43-yard field goal try to give Green Bay the lead. It is blocked. Ball's down to the ground. And Greg Newsome falls on it on the 47 of the Browns.
Denzel Ward off the edge, just like I told you. And now can the offense get enough yards to give Andre Schmidt a chance at redemption?
Now, what, you gotta say, as I told you? That diminishes everything that you've said. When you have to tell people that you told them, that diminishes everything.
You think so?
I mean, I do it and it never works out for me.
I was going to say. I know, I say it a lot. It's my favorite thing to say. I told you so.
I don't I don't do it as much on the air as a lot of people. When you just throw a bunch of crap against the wall and then something hits and you're like, I told you. Well, what about all the other stuff? You didn't tell me.
All right, so Wood.
By the way, yesterday was the day of the blocked kick. It was pretty exciting week in terms of that.
It was great. So to answer the question, would the Cleveland Browns get enough yardage for Schmidt to attempt a game-winning field goal? The answer was yes, they would get enough yardage for him to attempt it.
55 yards out. 2 seconds left. Snap is back. Kick is up. And the kick is right down the middle. And it's gone. Wait, there's a flag. Green Bay's throwing helmets.
Time Green Bay.
The Browns have beaten the Green Bay Packers.
I believe that was a 7.5-point spread. So Green Bay beat the Lions. They looked awesome. They beat Dallas. Is that who they beat in week 2? They looked awesome in week 2, whoever they played. Their defense suffocating, and their defense played well yesterday too, obviously.
They beat Washington in week 2.
Okay, they beat Washington in week 2, and rightfully so. People are like, Green Bay is a Super Bowl contender. But you recall after the Lions lost to Green Bay in week 1, everyone said that the window would close for the Lions. So now I'm wondering if you've lost to a far inferior team, as Green Bay is just, if now the narrative is there's no chance they make the Super Bowl.
Fair question.
It's a week-to-week proposition in the NFL.
By the way, getting back to the kicker thing we were talking about, this guy Andre Schmidt, who somehow spells his name S-Z-M-Y-T. That's how you pronounce Schmidt somehow or another. But had never attempted a field goal of longer than 45 yards, drills a 55-yarder.
I'm telling you, you got to do
narrow the goalposts.
You got to narrow the goalposts. They will. I mean, you can't have 60-yard, 55-yard on like a several games a week basis. It lends too much importance to the field goal. These guys are too good now, and it is the evolution of the game. And quickly, and then we'll break. Because I know the bed was pulled down to get us into break because Adam's not interested in football.
No, it just ran out.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were being very passive aggressive.
No, we got to break. I just didn't feel like starting it.
Okay, but this would just be very quickly, but I can make Hardy excited. In golf, the players get better. Yeah. The technology is in everything, so you have to do what? You have to lengthen courses or restrict things. You have to do that kind of stuff.
You have to change the playing field.
Exactly. And kickers are too good now. It's just, who would have thought there'd be a million kids in high school that throw in the 90s?
I don't know.
Stuff happens, and the kickers are too good.
This may not be the day to say that, Fred, because we got 2 more blocked field goals to get to.
Blocking a field goal isn't missing a field goal. Blocking field goal is athleticism.
You got to kick it higher.
Well, I understand that. It can be a kicker's fault.
I don't know that you do.
I don't. I'm scrambling to try to make a point. Anyway, we've been talking about this. They really do have to narrow the field goals, and I'd imagine they would narrow the field goal posts. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Are you guys getting before we get back to going around the NFL? Are you guys getting text messages from like strange numbers, acting like they know you?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, within the last 2 days, I got one who said, "So, are you around?" ?
Right.
I get. I would say one at least every other day.
Yeah, and I
want to have dinner tonight.
Yeah, there's stuff
exactly.
like it's supposed to be like from a girl, or if you're a girl, I guess it's supposed to be from a guy, and it says, hey, I just found your number. I'm sorry we never connected. Do you want to get back? Do you want to go out to dinner or something like that? And you're thinking this is kind of mean.
I know. I reply to all of them, and sometimes I try and meet up and they're not there. Sometimes they just want a little bit of information because they can't remember who I am, and I tell them everything, and then I don't hear from them. It's weird.
Yeah. You need to get there's a lot of people. You can make a lot of money that way. You just give them your bank information and you give them a quick loan, and they will.
Well, it depends on what they're offering. If it's like, I'll give you back $100 extra, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But if you just need to be a holding company for like a wealthy prince, then yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
I need to transfer this money. I need a place to. But here's my routing information.
Mm-hmm.
What is scary though is when we're doing all like face calls, and they're going to be able to AI like your relatives with their voice and their face and everything. They can already do it, I suppose, like on the phone, like voice calls, so you could actually think something's going on.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, well,
that's not good.
Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Oh, your precious New York Jets were in the Terror Dome yesterday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oof. Good game, Fred. It was a good game.
Well,
it's on first and goal.
No,
Slant.
not really. No, it wasn't a good game until the end, but go ahead.
It's on first and goal. Slant pass. Catch. Touchdown, Mike Evans. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
Yeah. Let's see. We're talking about 20-6 at halftime. Does that sound right?
Yeah, there was a pick six right before the half. And by the way, Mike Evans did something to his hamstring yesterday, and he came up lame. So keep an eye on that if you are a fantasy player. But yes, the Jets were down they were down 17 at one point. And this is a good lesson to Patriot fans. In years past, that team would have just stopped and quit. But with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, and the Jets are lacking a lot of talent too. They have some high-end talent, but other than that, they're not very deep. They managed to get themselves back into this contest.
Tyrod Taylor back to throw. Looks right, looks left, tucks it under. Sidearms one back in the end zone. Lazard makes the catch. That's a Jet touchdown. Tyrod Taylor sidearms one to Alan Lazard, and the Jets are still alive.
Lazard almost dropped it too.
Fourth quarter.
They had to review it for 5 hours because he was juggling it.
I forgot he was still there.
No, he wasn't. He didn't play in week one.
Yeah,
he was a healthy scratch in week one.
That would be the reason.
Yeah, they threw it right to him. Tyrod Taylor, right in the back of the end zone, threads the needle a little bit, gets it to Lazard. He bobbles it, and they have to review it, and it did stand. So congratulations to the Jets.
Now, Fred, were you watching this with your son yesterday?
I listened to the first half. I split my time because I told you I was coming back from UConn and I was in traffic. I listened to the first half between this and the Patriots game, and then I did half watch the second half, so I did see the important plays. Yes.
Okay. Did you see this play?
Yeah, this is to put Tampa Bay up 9 and to just seal the game. This is Tampa Bay's. They got a field goal to end the game, basically.
Thank you.
The snap clean, the placement down. The kick, it's blocked. It's loose in midfield. It's scooped up by Will McDonald. There he goes to the 20, 10, 5. That's a Jet touchdown. That's a Jet touchdown off of the blocked field goal. We're tied with 1:49 to go.
And that's the rub. There's 1:49 to go. And I don't care who you are. 149 against a good quarterback is too much time. It would have even been better if he ran out of bounds, really. But I did say to Milo, I said to my son, I was watching the game with my son, because they had just showed, spoiler alert, Davis from Philadelphia blocking the kick and running it back from a touchdown. They just had showed the replay, the highlight of it. And I'm like, what if the Jets blocked this and ran it back for a touchdown? I did say that. Mm-hmm. And then he jumps over the center. He's got incredible athleticism. I guess in college, he had a viral video of him jumping over an SUV. Now,
yeah, I think I saw it here this morning. It's a small SUV, but he's still jumping over an SUV.
Yeah, he jumped over an SUV. Now, and not like with his feet like closest. He kicked his legs out and jumped over it.
Right.
Dukes of Hazzard style.
All right, so
Tom Wopat!
Jets are up 27-26. All they need to do is,
keep them out of field goal range, which is anywhere 60 yards and in.
Yeah.
Keep
them from crossing midfield.
Just like the Steelers, who they kept to a 60-yard field goal, and they won the game on a 60-yard field goal.
No,
a minute and 30 seconds. If the Jets had the ball with a minute and 30 seconds, I have every faith that they would have been able to get in field goal range.
Right. But
you need like a first down.
Tampa started on their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, you need a first down, and Mayfield broke a runoff. And believe me, I didn't think the Jets were winning that game at that point. I did think you're not up a touchdown in that situation.
No, you're up a point.
They had like one pass to Sterling Shepard, right?
Yes,
and that was for 20 to get them in the field. Real field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
But Mayfield had a nice run, and then they got close. Like it was a chip shot field
nice
goal.
Pass. Yeah.
The worst part of it is I don't think Tampa had a third down on that drive until they kneeled to set up for the field goal.
No, it was two. It was two plays.
Like bang bang right down the field.
Right.
And set up for a 36-yarder.
From 36 yards out. Snap is down. Kick is on the way. Kick is good. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-0 for the first time since 2005.
This is the end. This is the end. The Jets have a problem of not being able to run the ball. Is a little bit of an issue for them.
Jets fall to 0-3. How do you like their chances at Miami?
Well, that's a win.
I'll tell you this: I was
that's
very impressed, and Aaron Glenn after the game on the field was still pretty psyched. They're showing videos of him dancing around like Vrabel. And what did I say when Vrabel ran down with the kick return? I said, yeah, every coach runs down with the kick return. Except for Andy Reid, If they physically can't do it, they don't. They're showing Aaron Glenn do it. But listen, you're down 17. You're on the road. The team, you're not playing well. You stiffen up, and you end up going up by a point with a minute and a half left. They didn't quit on Glenn, so I'm taking that as a victory. I didn't think they were making the playoffs anyway. I like them in Miami. Go ahead.
You mentioned the Jets are going to play Miami next. That's Monday night.
Yeah.
That's your Monday night game. 0-3 New York against 0-3 Miami.
Well, your Sunday night game last night sucked.
I know,
Kansas City against the Giants, that's a terrible game, too. And that's Sunday night football where they get their choice of games.
Yeah.
I understand
you're waiting all day for Sunday night, and that's what you get?
Remember when Francesa got all upset? No, you've been watching football all day. I'm not waiting all day. I've been watching football.
Yesterday, the Rams were taking on the Eagles, and the Rams were taking it to the Eagles early.
Kyron Williams, the single back as Piven goes in motion. Bootleg right side, throw to the flat. Kyron's got it 10, 5, end zone touchdown. Kyron Williams on the first play.
Excitement everywhere.
And the Rams have blown it open.
The Rams organization, excitement everywhere. From the booth to the fans to everything. I understand the game was in Philadelphia, but...
Yes. That made it 26-7. I don't think anybody saw this coming, but
a lot of people love the Rams. A lot of people like the Rams in the Super Bowl. The Rams are a very hot pick right now.
To be up that degree, though, in Philadelphia.
No, you didn't think that. But people, it was a 3.5-point spread. A lot of people were on the Rams in that game. A lot of people.
Well, the West Coast team traveling
some of the
east.
Smartest people.
What are you going to do? Well, what are you going to do is don't count Philadelphia out.
Hurts back. Hurts looks. Hurts fires. Complete. Touchdown. They take the lead. Smith. Smitty. It's Smith. Devontae Smith. Into the end zone. They take the lead.
Smitty.
Yeah.
Smitty.
By the way, Jalen Hurts got hit in that game as hard as I've ever seen a quarterback get hit. And he held on to the ball. But he got hit. I can't believe, and he gets up. He has no reaction. He had no reaction to the play the block kick that you're gonna play. They showed Jalen Hurts during. You can see it online. He got destroyed. He just gets up. He has this dumb look on his face. He's on the sideline. He just seems constantly at a mild anger. Like he's mildly angered at all times. That seems to be where he's at as a person.
Well, the Rams have a chance to win it here, as you just mentioned, Fred. A go-ahead field goal try.
They blocked him the last time. The ball is spotted. The kick is away. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's picked up by the Eagles. Running with it is Davis. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! Game over!
So Davis was clocked. Remember when he came out of Georgia, and he's a defensive tackle, and there are a lot of players that aren't very good were taken ahead of him. And remember we had the conversation, why is he not being taken first in this draft? Like, he ran 28 and a half. Was it 28? Was it? He ran, maybe it was 19 and a half miles an hour. Yeah. Anyway, it was like he ran...
It's 18 and a half miles
18 and a half miles an hour. I was going to say 28. 18 and a half miles an hour.
It's like a cheetah.
Yeah. Fine. 18 and a half miles an hour. He's 300 pounds.
Dude, he's moving. And it's not like, wow, they had clocked him, and it's actually, he's going pretty fast. Watching it with your eyes, he's moving.
Yeah, it's not rumbling, stumbling, bumbling. No, he.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, the freak is the freak. Like, sometimes you just got to accept
300-pound guy that can run almost 19 miles an hour, which he said, it was faster than he was clocked in his 40 at the combine.
Oh, that's not a surprise at all, though. Like, even with pads, that doesn't surprise me.
Really?
That adrenaline, oh, yeah. Like, when you get, it's like a pitcher. If you clock a kid in a gym, like, throwing, I bet you in a game, he's 4 or 5 miles an hour faster in a game. It's just all adrenaline.
Jalen Hurts after the game.
We won the game. We were gritty in the game. We stayed together as a team. We did not quit. Nobody gave up. And in competitive sports, that's what it's about.
All right. There you go. All right. You got one more. You can do it very quickly because it was interesting, and it's an AFC team if you want to go Minnesota here. Because the guy had a game that was just absolutely unbelievable.
All right. Let's go to Minnesota, where they would increase their lead here.
And it's intercepted. Isaiah Rodgers. Look out, he's fast. And is loose. Isaiah Rodgers is gone. An 87-yard pick six.
All right, so he had a 87-yard pick six. He picked up a fumble for a touchdown as well. So he had 2 touchdowns on his own.
Yes.
He what else did he do there?
Caught Noah Fan his 5th catch. He dropped the ball. Isaiah Rodgers picked it up. No way. Is gone. 2 defensive touchdowns for number 2.
Yeah. By the way, Patriot fans, look at what happened to Cincinnati when they lost their quarterback. Things could be a lot worse. You could have gone into the season thinking that you were winning a Super Bowl, only to end up losing to a team playing Carson Wentz at quarterback 48-10. I mean, that's a humiliating loss. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible loss. And I don't know how long that coach in Cincinnati has his job. I guess you can't fire him because Burrow's hurt. But holy moly. Carson Wentz is the quarterback who might be better than J.J. McCarthy.
Definitely a lot of emotions. I had a channel, running out there. It's been a while since getting a chance to do this.
Every time I see you, I change the channel.
Hey.
In the purple and gold means a little extra something to me personally. So, yeah, I definitely had a lot of emotions, but was able to channel them to the best of my ability.
Well, you played for every team in the league. Channel your emotions somewhere else.
You're still getting emotional over the laundry? You've worn every jersey in the league.
You played against every team for every team in the league. All right, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are beaten yesterday 21-14 by Pittsburgh in Foxborough.
Mac Jones in the middle of it. Which general is who's going to run out of steam first is really the question.
When you're slinging it that much all over the field, sometimes things don't go your way.
Jones throwing right side, and it's intercepted by the Cardinals at the 25, and it's Rabbit with the pick. He's at the 30 on the far side and up to the 40 before he's tackled.
All right, it's bound to happen. You know, you're out there whipping it around Brett Favre style. After the game, Mac Jones was asked about that pick.
I threw it right to the guy, so it wasn't like he made a good play. I mean, good for him. He caught it, like, awesome. But like, it was the technically second part of my read, and I took a hitch to it and ripped it. I don't know. And he was standing right there, so.
I wonder if that's what Aaron Rodgers said after the game about the horrible pick that he threw.
He's having a good chuckle about it.
Yeah,
I threw it right to the guy. So
well, look at
like
to the victors go to the spoils. And in fairness, he threw the ball 41 times in that game, so he was throwing. He must have been throwing it 2 yards per throw. But Mackie Jones, man, you get him in the Shanahan system, they'll put up 16 points for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he looked a lot more like himself this week than he did last week. So,
what does looking like himself look like?
Turnovers. Kind of a laissez-faire attitude afterwards.
He likes himself some Ricky Pearsall, though. Ricky Pearsall, he likes himself some. He targeted him 11 times in that game.
Got a big day.
Oh, I guess I can kind of figure out from the box score how far he was throwing down the field because McCaffrey had 15 targets.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that
a
lot of these passes were.
Let's see how quickly we can wear that guy out. Let's just
ruin him. Let's destroy him. We paid him.
Yeah, that long
He's ours
game,
to destroy.
That long game by McCaffrey was on that pass right at the end to set up the game winner. So
yeah. All right.
So how many carries did McCaffrey have yesterday? I haven't pulled the box score.
He had 17 carries. So they weren't having a lot of success running the ball.
Yeah,
so they
targeted him 15 times. They tried to get him 32 touches yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, just might as well just grind his legs down.
Nothing bad's going to happen to him. He'll be fine.
Kendrick Bourne kicking around in that game.
Yeah.
You know, you got them all going on. And then Gronkowski before the game said that Marvin Harrison Jr. was Marvin Harrison Sr.'s kid.
Yeah.
He announced that to the people.
Well, it wasn't just that. He was like, they asked him, who's your difference maker? Something like that. He said, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be my difference. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got it.
The son of Marvin Harrison Sr.
What position
wide receiver, first round pick for the Cardinals.
So that's
they
how
got to throw the ball to him.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is the son of Marvin Harrison Sr.?
That's how
Junior, because he's the son of the senior. Wow. You learn something every day on Fox NFL Sunday.
You know what they were doing? They were doing him a favor because his point was, his analysis of the game was they have to throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think that you could pretty much pull anyone from the street in Arizona and go, hey, what do you think they should do? I don't know. Throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr., the guy that was such a big deal when we drafted him. The generational receiver project that generational receiver we're supposed to have.
By the way, I don't know if you guys caught any of Edelman's induction.
No, I watched none of it.
Okay, so I listened to a lot of it, and Rob Gronkowski not cutting up, not being funny. It was a video tribute. He wasn't there. Ditto for Tom Brady. Edelman's induction speech. I was just really taking my time washing my car. Took it to the car wash, brought it up. Now I'm doing the windows. I'm doing everything, doing the inside. I look at my watch. I think it lasted 40 minutes.
It was 32 minutes.
Yeah.
I know because I scrubbed it to see if there'd be anything we could work with on the show.
And there
32
wasn't.
minutes. There wasn't.
There
wasn't.
Nothing.
Well,
nothing.
Listen, if you're getting such a prestigious honor as to get into a made-up Hall of Fame that was just created not so long ago,
Well,
I mean, that is...
It wasn't bad. It's just...
No, 32 minutes is too long for anything. It's so self-indulgent. No one wants to sit through that. No one there wants you to talk for 32 minutes. No one. Unless you're doing something incredibly drunk and, out of control. That's great, 32 minutes. Or you're telling a story that's, like has me enraptured and it's like this story of overcoming all the, like, you know what I'm saying? There's like this huge narrative arc, like you're this master storyteller. There's like 5 of those in the world. And so, no, 32 minutes is a slog. It's too much. No one there wanted I'll tell you this. I could guarantee you, no one would maybe admit it, but it happened. If there was a way to read minds, and I'm sure they have it somewhere, there was not a body in that place that wasn't like, end, stop talking, end.
And Robert Kraft's introduction of Parcells, and then Parcells' speech was short. It was heartfelt. It was in, out. It's good, fine. Holy crap. The Edelman stuff. I didn't know when it was going to end.
How long did Parcells speak for, I wonder? It couldn't have been very long. Bill's 84.
Yeah.
His fastball's long gone.
But it was fine.
8 minutes, says Ryan.
Yeah. It sounded good. He said everything he had to say, and nothing was left out. He didn't leave anybody out. Everything that had to be done was done in 8 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. 8 minutes is about how long you should take, especially to the Patriots Hall of Fame. Like, if you get into the Baseball Hall of Fame, maybe 15 minutes you talk about your career, because there's a lot of people you want to thank because this is such an incredible honor.
Right.
I mean, Patriots Hall of Fame.
This is it for Edelman. There's no football Hall of Fame. This is the highest honor he'll ever get.
Ask these douchebags that had Belichick drinking orange juice as their. If you want to know how life goes in circles, how that. With the before the pride, with the pride comes the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Look no further than Belichick lounging with a glass of orange juice, freedom rocketing everyone in the place, and look at him now, big pile of crap.
No,
look at him now. Maybe if he wasn't such an incredible dick, his entire career, maybe he could end his life, which is he could live easily 20 more years with modern medicine. Maybe these last 20 years he wouldn't be he would be more revered if he wasn't such a giant piece of garbage.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back. Bob Socci is not a piece of garbage. He's someone who will be remembered as a saint that walked among us. We will have him in just a moment.
For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are now 1-2 on the season after a 21-14 home loss to Pittsburgh yesterday at Gillette Stadium. Drake Maye threw a pair of touchdown passes to Hunter Henry, but he also added a costly interception and fumble. And even worse, he saw Ramondre Stevenson lose a pair of fumbles as well.
He's one of our best players. I think there's nothing that I think he can do that would change my view of him as a player, as a teammate. Does everything the right way. He knows just as much as we know. Ball security.
Patriots turned the ball over 5 times in all. They're 1-2 on the season. Their next game is at home Sunday against Carolina. The Panthers have come to town 1-2 after a very impressive 30-0 home win over Atlanta yesterday. Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay 7-3 to the Rays. The home team got 3 in the 8th to blow the game open. Sox have 6 games left. They're 1 game up on both Cleveland and Houston for the second wild card in the American League. Their next game is tomorrow night in Toronto. And the Bruins opened up their preseason last night by losing to the Washington Capitals 5-2 at TD Garden. Their next game of their 6-game preseason schedule is tomorrow night on the road against the New York Rangers. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by South Shore Bank. At Beatles Bank, sharing your success and growing your business is what above and beyond banking is all about. Visit SouthShoreBank.com, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Stevenson hands on knees. He takes the handoff, runs through a big hole right side, and they lost the ball. A fumble that squirms out to near midfield, scooped up by the Steelers.
Oh, God.
Shotgun snap to Maye, double clutches, throws it in the end zone, intercepted. He had an open man, but he threw the ball into the hands of the Steelers.
Wide open in that first hole. He took too long to throw.
Handoff Stevenson, tripped up behind line, but he surges forward with a dive. Rodgers Stevenson is down with the ball loose, and it's a touchback. It is a fumble. The second lost fumble today by the Patriots.
Pittsburgh.
He just fumbled. In this case, Ramondre Stevenson fumbled.
Oh, God.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Bob Socci is the voice of the New England Patriots on 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. Bob Socci's hot takes are brought to you by Bigelow Tea. By now, you should know Bob starts every game with his favorite Bigelow Tea. No matter how hectic your day gets, be sure to grab a mug of Bigelow Tea and tea proudly. That is what we are instructed to do. And Bob Socci is on the phone with us. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Fred. Hi, Hardy. Hi, John. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Well, you got certainly an exciting game yesterday, even though not a high-scoring game, a very exciting game yesterday, so that had to be fun to call.
Yeah, at one point I said, I think when it was 14-7, that it felt like it was a 35-28 game at that point because it was a game with a lot of action. Unfortunately, not all of it good and not enough of it resulting in points for the home team in particular. But 2 weeks in a row in different ways, obviously, kind of a wild affair in each case.
Yeah. Okay, what do you do with Stevenson, in your opinion? This isn't an isolated game. This is a guy who can't hang on to the football. If you're the Patriots, how do you handle this?
Yeah, Fred, I just caught the end of your segment with Mike Reese and replaying the words of Mike Vrabel yesterday and even some of what he said last week about trying to develop consistency to build confidence. And I think he's been careful in how he's handled certain guys and from the start has tried to give players like Ramondre. And Ramondre talked about it very honestly yesterday in our pregame show, which unfortunately was too prescient because in some ways prophetic. He talked about the coaches sticking with him and having confidence in him despite his fumbling issues a year ago. And you're right, it is an ongoing problem because it's not even just last year. You go back to 2022, for example, a game against Cincinnati, and there was late fumble in that contest that cost the Pats a chance to win that game on Christmas Eve. So, this has been a part of his story. He is a talented back, and he's made a lot of big plays. As Vrabel said, he played a huge role in winning the game at Miami. Yesterday was a different story, in the coach's words. And he says the Patriots need him. But I think Ramondre Stevenson understands better than anybody, as we heard from him yesterday. If he doesn't hold on to the ball, he's of no value to the team. His words. And they don't need him. I think Mike Vrabel is going to continue to give him an opportunity for redemption for yesterday. But how much of an opportunity and how long that opportunity extends, I think, is in question. As Vrabel said yesterday, 20 minutes after the game, you don't want to get too emotional. But sitting him maybe, going into the game against Carolina, maybe trying to take some of the mental load off. Maybe that's a step first. But if he has these problems ongoing, another game, maybe two, then I think you might reach ahead if you're the head coach.
It's just Mike Reese made the point, because I was being positive about the game. I'm like, if you're a Patriot, what were you going to say?
I'm saying I'm not. I really like Ramondre Stevenson, so I'm.
Yeah. No one thinks that you're personally attacking him or anything. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson knows what he's done. I mean, what does he think people are going to be talking about today? He fumbled on the goal line, and he fumbled twice and lost 2 fumbles.
On the first drive.
Yeah, I mean he's not playing well. And for a running back, that like you said, and like he said, fumbles negate everything good that you've done. So Mike Reese's thing was, I was being positive about the Patriots because I thought, look, you thoroughly outplayed a team with more talent than you. May continues to show that he has a lot of ability. You fumbled the ball 5 times. You lost 5 fumbles. A lot of that is just luck of falling on the ball. You shouldn't fumble. I'm not saying that. I'm saying though, but recovering, a bunch of fumbles is some of that is luck. Look, And Mike came back. So I was actually being positive. Mike came back and said, I'm a little upset. Not upset. I'm a little concerned about the team not being more buttoned up. Like you think of Vrabel team, you think of not being penalized a lot, not fumbling the ball. And so my point to him when he pushed back on cutting Stevenson was, well, the way that you early in your regime tighten these things up is to let people know there's big consequences. And I don't think that the Patriots need Ramondre Stevenson. I don't think their season falls apart. Like if Ramondre Stevenson got hurt, God forbid Ramondre Stevenson got hurt, would you write off the rest of the season? Would you say, well, that's it? Or that they've been dealt a very serious blow? I wouldn't. So I just think you can't have it both ways. If you want him to tighten up, what's he going to do? Have him carry a ball around campus? Like
program.
Like the program. I mean, like
poor Omar Epps.
Guy's a professional athlete. Like, dude, you can't hang on to the ball. Like, it's like he's not gonna. And another thing was like you teach him like how to hang on. It's like a thing. We could teach the guy. The guy's been playing football his whole life. He's been a professional athlete for years. Like, it's nothing you're gonna teach him. So I don't think you can have both. You can't expect the team to be buttoned up without any consequences. And the consequence of sitting him out, well, then he's going to get in the game if something happens, or if things go sideways, he's going to get into a game, and then it's all lost. So I don't know. I don't think you can have it both ways. I can see keeping Stevenson if you think he's valuable and you're a better team with him. But I also then don't think you can expect everything to be all buttoned up if there's no consequences for continuing to make these kinds of mistakes.
I think it's a fair point that you make, and I think there probably are a lot of people, if not the majority of people in the audience right now, who would agree with you.
That's why I said it.
To
win their favor.
I look back at yesterday, though, too. The guy who replaces him lost a fumble, too, on one of his first carries.
Right.
And then, you have the rookie that I've, believed along the lines of most people that have watched him play in the preseason and at Ohio State, that he has something the Patriots haven't had at that position in a long time, and that you hope that they can unleash his talents both as a pass catcher and a runner, speaking of Travion Henderson. But in week one, I think they tried to really establish him in that game in a number of ways. And the Raiders clearly were prepared for it. In week two, he had the rash of penalties, 2 of them in pass protection, and another on special teams. But I think the 2 in pass protection, really helped, influence their decision even yesterday to put Ramondre Stevenson back in the game after the 2 fumbles, because he came out there. And I think principally, looking at it live, it's probably because they needed him to shore up pass protection in that case. So, with each back.
Get a fullback.
I think that, the thing for me with Mike's point, and I do agree with him, I think, it is surprising to me that there have been, and it's not just the turnovers, but so many penalties and some of the situational things too. And I think with Drake Maye, you're going to have to take some of the bad with all of the good that you do see in his development. But the one thing that, I don't know how you coach it out of a guy, but he makes a play with his legs on the outside, and then he's trying to keep a play alive to make a play with his legs in his arm from the pocket. And just like we saw that first series in the preseason, like we saw a few times last year, yesterday the ball comes loose at a critical moment with that fumble. Again, it's his instincts to try to make a play, and somebody got to coach it out of him while not making him tentative, so that he's not the kind of playmaker that you think he can be, if that makes sense.
Well, the only thing I would add to it, Bob, is, we all know what he did last week and earlier in the season, and you say this week was a different story. I guess the question is, when does this become the story? And if you go back and you take a larger sample size of just a couple of games, you go from a guy who didn't used to fumble who now fumbles. And I would argue that this is now the story, and that too much of this is I guess speaks to a guy that is more of a detriment to your team than the help he can give you, whether it's in pass protection or whether it's in occasionally not fumbling the ball. When this becomes the story and it's no longer the exception, but it becomes the rule, that's when you have to cut him.
Hardy, and I'm not going to give you a clear answer, because I think you've had guys in the past like Tiki Barber, for example, as well as Kevin Falk here in New England, who had a lot of fumbling issues at points in their career early, but then they were able to correct those. Ramondre's in his 5th year now. So, it's something that, those guys kind of addressed earlier in their career. In Barber's case, it was really after Tom Coughlin took over. And in other cases, and Fred, looking at your team, the Jets this year, Xavier Gipson fumbled on a punt return, and he was out of a job by the end of the day. Aaron Glenn let him go. Bill Parcells did that with the Patriots. That's how Troy Brown got a call back to the Pats after he'd been cut. He was in West Virginia, and his replacement as a punt returner fumbled in a game against the Jets. And Parcells called up Ron and brought him back, and the rest is history there. So I think sometimes you weigh, okay, what's the value of a guy who's a special teamer at that point and a return guy versus a guy that you think could be, the ball carrier, and you're not every down back, but most down back. But at some point, as you say, I think you reach a decision that has to be made, and and hopefully going forward, if Stevenson is out there, we don't see those problems. But if they do continue to occur, then and by that I don't mean like over a long stretch, but even over a short period.
You brought up Travion Henderson, Bob, and I'm wondering, why do you think the Patriots can't seem to scheme a way to get him loose? It especially the last couple of weeks, and especially with the ball handling problems that Ramondre Stevenson seems to have.
Well, John, I think for one thing, you're going against NFL players, NFL teams. And, McDaniels has proven that he can scheme up guys and get them open and get them loose. And in the case of the Raiders, again, it was clear that, everywhere Travion Henderson went, every time they screened to him, every time they got the ball in his hands, they were outnumbered there. The Raiders had clearly incorporated that, I think, in their preparation. Just like even yesterday. I think, and this is not to excuse the turnovers by the Patriots. You can't have it. It's the biggest determinant in wins and losses, really, of any of the variables in pro football. The Steelers take the ball away. They've perennially been, under Tomlin, one of the league leaders, if not the best. I think this since the start of 23. And I said this on the air going into the game, they were plus 28 in turnover margin, more takeaways than anybody else. So they're attacking. Ramondre Stevenson. Tomlin said it after the game. That's part of their approach. And it's the same thing with a guy like Henderson. The Raiders made sure that he wasn't going to be a guy that could beat them. Because other teams recognize what a lot of people here were saying coming out of the preseason. This is a guy who has a chance to be the best playmaker the Patriots have. I think that he's shown them the ability in some ways that surprised them a little bit more ability to run inside. But you look back at his Ohio State career, and we've talked about this in the past in terms of his durability and his usage. I don't know that he's a guy that they can rely on for a predominant number of carries, because at Ohio State the track record was when he was that guy and had the vast majority of work. He had some durability issues during those seasons when they had other backs and it was more of an even split. Well, that's when he really thrived.
All right. Are we going to get Christian Gonzalez back anytime soon? I was convinced he was going to play at least some on Sunday. I was very surprised when he was ruled out. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's, hopefully it's next week. He makes a huge difference, obviously. And you can question, the borderline calls, and I certainly didn't think either of a couple of pass interference calls against the Patriots were catchable, including the one that Alex Austin got called for. But
I would agree.
In that case, nonetheless, those are calls that are made. And with Gonzalez out there, maybe you're not even in a position where you can get called for that. He's a huge asset to them when he's on the field playing healthy and playing well, as we saw last year at times. But, I think going back to last week, based on what we saw in the brief glimpses media were allowed at practice, it wasn't all that surprising in retrospect, because he really didn't do anything other than, some shadow drills from what we could see, very, very limited. And also taking into account what some players have said. David Andrews was on the air last week and talked about it. But, you can't just come back after a month off. And you can ride the bike, for however long, but to be expected to be a big contributor in a game week one back after missing more than a month of football, especially when you get injured in the ramp-up period on the first day of pads. Maybe it wasn't so surprising in retrospect that he wasn't out there yesterday, but I would hope, and I think the expectations are that he will be back within the next week and be able to practice a lot more this week in preparation for Carolina.
Do you think they'll practice where the first down markers are and how to cross that?
Oh, that's
maybe just pop.
unkind.
Maybe just pop Douglas.
Fred, and this has been a recurring problem at the wide receiver position for them for several years. The lack of precision at times with route running relative, as you say, to the first down marker. And Zoe was irate about it yesterday. And, I think that one of the things that was consistent with the guys who thrived in this offense, Josh McDaniels, Charlie Weiss, Bill O'Brien, Troy Brown, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, those types of players. And I don't call them slot receivers just because they weren't just limited to that. But for a guy like Pop Douglas to be that guy, the awareness of spacing, the awareness of when to settle in the defense and to be on the same page as your quarterback. And we certainly have not seen him and Drake Maye on the same page. The sharpness and detail in terms of your route running and where you line up on the line of scrimmage, so that when you take the 4 steps off the line, that you are at the first down marker, or that you go 5 yards when you need 4 to get the first down so you can come back and make that catch at the stick. I don't think that, we have seen that, from Pop thus far. And it's not just this year, but I think it's over the last couple of years for this team. And it's not just him. I think it was a problem for some of the young receivers the last few seasons. So, how long do they go before they give Efton Chisholm an opportunity? And also, I think the personnel right now that's been most effective for them hasn't really lent itself to fully utilizing, that kind of player, unless maybe it's Stephon Diggs, who I think was very effective, in those short intermediate areas last week against Miami. And I was a bit surprised that, didn't have more of a role in yesterday's game. But I think Efton Chisholm is a guy that excites a lot of people. I think a big part of it is, again, the awareness, the spatial awareness that he has in that role, and also being able to read the defense the way your quarterback reads it.
All right. Well, good job yesterday, Bob. Bob Socci, of course, on the calls of all the Patriots games right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
See you,
We
Bob.
appreciate it. We'll be right back with our award-winning email segment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. If you want to email us, you can do so at 985thesportshub.com. Our email addresses are up there. You can reach out to us on our socials at Toucher and Hardy. Hardy's up there at Hardy985, and I am on Instagram at Fred Toucher, where I have made $7.50. I just got that payment today.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm part of the Zuckerberg payroll. Now he owns me. They have my social security number, so now they can get whatever they want.
You're going to have AI Fred in like 2 days. You're going to have some pop-up account that's AI version of you.
But it is $7.
You didn't read the fine print.
I mean, it is $7. Yeah. So, I mean, it can only... By the way, the NFL has a ad now. My son made me rewind it. This exists in the world. The NFL has an ad, and it's like, you never know who's going to win. And it's like fans of all these teams. And not only is he in the commercial, but he talks. The Rizzler is in the commercial. The child, the Rizzler, who is in the Boom videos.
Oh, good.
Is now a employee and a spokesperson of the National Football League. And my son said, "There's the Rizzler." And I went, "Oh, okay." No, he goes, "No, he's talking. You got to see it." So I had to rewind the Rizzler. He is now a huge celebrity.
Boom! Boom! Boom!
And he's a kid, and he's he's a charming child, and I have nothing bad to say about him. I just think it's interesting that, this is the world.
We bring the boom! That's what
We got to figure things out as a society. It's just how much we're leaning into this stuff, like about social media and stuff. We really got to figure it all out.
It's important. They're doing God's work.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms.
Yeah, they say boom.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yep.
And then they rap to the same track and change the lyrics. And
We bring the boom!
We really got to get together as a... I think that there will be a dawn, if there is not the fall of Western culture, which is a possibility. There might be a return to sanity, and maybe it will be an age like, the Roman Empire and things of like that, and there will be some leader will emerge who's somewhat sane and tell people, all right, let's exist in the world. Let's not just exist with the Rizzler. Let's exist in the world.
Oh, you don't need all of the extraneous input.
No, enjoy art, enjoy music, and art can be the king of queens.
This is both.
Art can be the king of queens.
Art and music.
Just things that with people trying to be creative, telling a story you can relate to.
That's a song. That's
making
art.
you laugh. Any of those things. By all means, consume those things. But let's
Poor
also
Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
let's have. I'm not making fun of any of the kids. It's not their fault. Let's start by having, I don't know, community where you go out. Like Hardy should be the new leader. He goes out and talks to the neighbors, and they do chores for one another and things like that. He's got like a community of real people.
Human interaction.
Human interaction.
It's a good point, Fred. And Hardy appeals to a wide swath of different types of people as well.
Hardy would be a fantastic politician.
You know what this is? This is a groundswell. This is a grassroots movement right here, right now.
Where should I start? School board? Select board?
Call Marshall Hook.
Select board.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Marshall
Select
can
board.
tell you. Marshall's
All
in charge of a town on the North
Have
Shore.
they started picking up trash again in Canton?
Strike is over. This week we are set to resume schedule. Could be next week, but we did get pickup last week. So I'm thinking like this week, Wednesday is a big day, not just for me and for the residents, but for Scout. And she's running out there when she hears the trucks, but sometimes they're just passing by our street.
So she has access to open the door?
No, but there are. Depends on the day.
You might hear the truck and think that something's coming.
Yeah, now with this schedule, I'm home sometimes when they come by. Yeah, it's fingers crossed.
Because you're just saying the dog just happens to be in the front lawn. You don't have an electric fence or anything.
I'll follow her out there.
Oh, you have an electric fence?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you can let the dog outside in the front.
Oh,
yard.
yeah.
I thought the dog was trained to stay put. No, that's not the case.
No.
Okay.
Well, she got trained thanks to the invisible fence. Yes.
Yeah, the invisible fence is okay. So the dog is sometimes in the front yard.
Oh yeah.
Does he know not to have her come? No, the garbage man.
Oh. How do you know it's a he?
Because you've referred to him before.
Garbage person.
You just referred to the person's name.
He's called in Joey. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joey. Well, Joey could be a girl. I mean,
that's a good point.
I mean, I've watched Dawson's Creek.
Joey doesn't have to worry about Scout going out too far because Joey, not to tell tales out of school, but he's kind enough to wheel the barrel back into the driveway.
Oh.
And so he knows Scout can't come out any further. He doesn't want any incidents, but he comes back and he comes to see her.
Oh, he walks into the yard.
Into the driveway or yard, sure.
And tramples your grass. You can't like that.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh.
Wow. That is kids and dogs all over that grass every day. I've given up on big chunks of that front yard.
Children just running on your lawn?
We have the neighborhood kids come over and play with Scout. Yeah, it's kind of like it's part of their daily routine.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the guy that should be. This is a unifier.
You're every man.
This is someone who can unite. Because I would imagine the message would be like uniting people as a nation. Mm-hmm. And Hardy is that kind of person. Now, I could never do that.
Well,
Hardy could do that.
Hardy's great right up until the point where he doesn't suffer fools gladly. That's the problem. You were talking about who were we talking about earlier, where he goes 0 to 100 in 5 seconds?
But that's fine. You need to have
You need
passion.
that energy on a select board.
But
Sometimes you need to have that person.
But ironically, I love foolishness.
Okay.
See, you get him on the board, and he'll keep things moving.
It's like I hate people, but I love gatherings.
No, it's kind of odd.
Well, I spent my time online informing people who think they know everything about what the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, is. That was how I spent my weekend, is in people saying you don't know what you're talking about and going, oh, no, I don't know what I'm talking about everything else. This I know what I'm talking about. The Federal Communications Commission, believe me, I've been working under their rule my entire professional life. I do know far more than you about this subject. And you are counter-arguing me, but it's an impossibility because I know what I'm talking about. There's no little out of it. There is only a cause and effect.
Yeah, when you have personal experience with it and you, as you said, have to operate under the guidelines of this entity, yeah, I think we have a better understanding than people who just yelling about, what is free speech, what isn't, what companies are allowed to do. No. Just under the FCC and what their reach is. Those have been my conversations about it.
Because, people go, like, you guys don't talk about politics. I go, yeah, we don't talk about politics. And a lot of that is I don't know what's going on about anything. I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until he was tragically assassinated. I didn't know who he was at all. I never had heard of him. So why would I talk about politics? I don't know anything about politics. I do know about the FCC. That I know.
Yeah, it's our business to know.
I know way more than any of you listening, unless one of you happens to be some sort of attorney that specializes in that. I assure you, on this one issue, I am the most informed.
Oh, some say the best at being informed.
Yes.
I picked one thing. I'll give you an example. Remember after the marathon bombings, Rolling Stone had one of the marathon bombers on the cover of their magazine. And a lot of people hated it. Obviously, the area was very mad, and a lot of people hated it because they thought it was glamorizing him. Rolling Stone said that was not the point. The point was to say a seemingly normal guy had been radicalized, and, like, look at what's happening in the country. There was a huge call to take that magazine off the shelves in Massachusetts because people were so pissed at Rolling Stone. And I said, you can't take it off the shelves because then you're bowing to censorship. And even if you don't like something, it's gotta be allowed to exist. Certainly don't buy it. Boycott the magazine. And the liberal Boston Globe got very upset at me for that. Because they thought I should just say this is this. I'm an absolutist on this issue. All these times are coming into my head now. I'm very consistent on this issue. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
I have an email here explaining something we were talking about earlier. These text messages that we're all getting. Hey, are you free tonight? Hey, I'm sorry I missed your call. What's up? This comes to us from Eric. It's addressed to Fred Hardy Eagle. Those random texts are likely what is known as pig butchering scams. Pig butchering is a type of long con fraud where criminals build trust with victims, often through dating apps, social media, or messaging platforms, pretending to form a romantic or business relationship. Once trust is established, the scammers gradually fatten up the victim by encouraging them to invest small amounts, what look like legitimate cryptocurrency. That's a contradiction in terms. Legitimate cryptocurrency or trading platform. As the victim sees fake profits and is pressured to invest larger sums, the scam escalates until the fraudsters suddenly disappear with all the money, leaving the victim financially devastated. The term comes, of course, from the idea of fattening a pig before the slaughter. That's Eric in D.C.
Why wouldn't you just get a job?
Like, this is a job. If you're going to put, job.
Yeah, but it's illegal. Why would you? like, wouldn't you feel bad about yourself after that? Like, why wouldn't you just get a job doing something?
For the same reason why you deal drugs. Yeah, why don't you just get a job? Because I can make more money dealing drugs.
Okay, dealing drugs has a lot of cachet
Upside?
that comes with it. You know, yeah, you're living and you're also like living this adrenaline-filled lifestyle. Like, there's certain things that come with it, but there's sitting behind a computer and scamming old people. I would just think that you would just if you're so good at that, get a job selling something. Like you wouldn't have to worry about all this crap, and you wouldn't have to take advantage of old people. How much a shot are you getting?
Because they get like this weird thrill from it. Why doesn't Jordan just focus on her pageant career or get really?
Well, she was failed at it.
Focus in on her PR firm because she gets a thrill from scamming money out of Bill. That's a rush for her.
Yeah.
What do you think the hit rate is? I mean, how many of these cons are they working at the same time? And you're talking about the long haul. I mean, that's a lot of energy you have to put into stuff that more often than not doesn't work out.
I wonder if they have a trade magazine where they compare win rates and success stories and stuff like that. They have a convention where they get together every year at the Bellagio and swap stories, have seminars. Here's an idea for the next time you get a fish on the hook.
That's a golden nugget down the street. That's not the Bellagio.
Try this move.
It just seems like a lot of work to get very little. I don't really know if someone who falls for that, like how much money they're going to have. I don't think you're getting your hands on like a big fish.
So even that just furthers my point. You're really working the long haul on a lot of people for a small hit rate for not a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying we agree.
Oh.
By the way, at least me talking about the Rolling Stone cover, I got Dick Donahue texting me again. Finally.
Dick
Our
Donahue.
good friend Dick Donahue.
Got an update here from Chris. He emailed us last week. He said, been listening for well over 10 years, become a staple of my life. 36 years old, and last week was going in for a neurological surgery. And he said he was very nervous. Apparently it was something anything neurological. He said, hey, I hope it's successful and blah, blah, blah. And just emailed back to say, hey, best of luck. Let us know how it goes. Email back this morning, 6 minutes ago. Hardy, today I'm going home and everything went well. I should be able to fully recover. Want to hear the best part of the whole hospital stay? There was a giant crane removing a massive tree, and I got to watch the entire process from my hospital from beginning to end. So congratulations, Chris, on the successful surgery. Glad you're going home.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this, is that Hardy has proven himself again as a politician. Forging relationships, a legitimate concern of the well-being of the people.
Yeah, you guys didn't email him back.
No.
Why not?
I figured John would take care of it.
Well, I don't think John was on the email.
I was not on the email.
It's just me.
It was just you and you two.
Oh, I thought John was on it.
No.
So I thought John would do it.
You know what, Chris?
So I kind of blame John.
Let me give you this, buddy.
Boom! 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 Boom!
That is 5 booms, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll be right back. We'll finish things up with the stack. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. listen to Touch Your Heart?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Yahoo Sports has Aaron Rodgers as one of the winners from Sunday's action.
Well, he technically did win.
The Steelers are 2-1, but both wins have been dramatic comebacks. That has to be fun for Rodgers and what might be his final season.
Dramatic comebacks. Dude, they were winning the most of the game.
The guy didn't watch the game, John.
Obviously.
He didn't watch the game at all. He saw the score and saw a highlight of the good touchdown pass that he threw. Yeah. And therefore Aaron Rodgers is killing it.
I'm still not used to this. I'm getting used to it, but I'm still not used to it.
Yeah. It's the way that it goes.
Yeah.
It's what I experienced the second half of last year is that Aaron Rodgers is really good. No, he's not. Oh yeah, he is. He's through for blah 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 in the game. Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. You're not watching him do it.
He was not good yesterday. He was.
No, Bert was even texting me during it. He's like, he looks like crap, and I'm like, I told you, he sucks. I mean, he doesn't suck. I mean, but he's not.
No, but he's at best a mediocre NFL quarterback.
That's more of what I'm saying is that like he didn't even suck last year, but like he was very mediocre. At times he was bad, and at times he was good. Most of the times he was okay.
One time out of 30, he can pull out some magic, like that ball to DK Metcalf in the end zone. He puts the ball in the touchdown to Calvin Austin was pretty good too.
The touchdown to Calvin Austin was undefendable. So like he was pushing him towards the sideline. He was doing everything right. And it was back shoulder and with him in bounds, got him a chance to get his feet down. Like all that was great. And he's got a great arm. There's no question about any of those things. But when you're insisted upon as like the most important player in the NFL, which arguably he was considered for a time, certainly in press coverage, not football press coverage, the actual press, the media coverage. Yes. Certainly Mahomes and all those people are more, and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are more important players. But I mean, no one was talked about as much as Aaron Rodgers. His dumb McAfee interviews were like, stop what you're doing, media, and like pilfer through this interview because he's going to say something dumb. Ugh. So, yes, he's mediocre, and he was not good yesterday.
No,
they
gave him 17 chances. A guy like that eventually is going to hit one.
You get 5 turnovers, and you win a game by a touchdown.
Where you score the game-winning touchdown with 2 minutes left to break a tie.
Right, exactly. All right, and then you have Demario Douglas who says, I don't want a first down. Yes. I like it right here. Right. In fact, I like it a couple of years.
I'm going to run back a few steps.
I know where the sticks are, but I'm going to get you to throw me the ball right here, and then just to make sure, I'm going to go the other way.
Then I'll make 2 guys miss. That's what I'll do. All right.
A couple of musical things here that I don't understand. One of them, Riot Fest wanted John Stamos to appear for years now, and finally they got it done. John Stamos appeared at Riot Fest in Chicago after meeting at least some of his demands. Among them, John Stamos demanded that the founder of Riot Fest, Riot Mike, get a John Stamos tattoo, that a look-alike contest would be held during Riot Fest, that his green room be stocked with a body pillow of John Stamos, and that Greek pizza be named after him in his honor. So apparently enough of those things happened where he did appear on stage at Riot Fest.
Stamos is like a kind of cool guy for being that good looking. Like it could have gone a lot of ways. Like Bob Saget loved him. And Bob Saget's a great guy. And Bob Saget loved him. There's, you know the thing, Hardy, I know you do, where they play a drummer a track for the first time and then they have to play along with it.
Love it. The Drumeo videos.
Drumeo videos. Stamos does one. Stamos pretty good drummer. Like, he does not embarrass himself. Like, he gets in there and he's like, all right. Because, you know, he played the bongos.
Oh, yeah, Kokomo. Yep.
For the Beach Boys and Jesse and the,
Rippers.
Jesse and the Rippers. I almost messed up.
Dodged a bullet there. Very quickly, one other thing. Michael Shannon, the actor, He and his partner are going to do.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I know who Michael Shane is.
I don't know.
He did the REM thing. He toured around in the REM
He's doing it again
cover
in
band.
2026 for the 40th anniversary of Life's Rich Pageant. They will play the album in its entirety. They have tour dates. They're playing real venues. They're playing the House of Blues in New Orleans. They're playing the Royale in Boston. This starts in February, and they're going to tour around. And they're playing the 40 Watt in Athens, like actual venues. I haven't been to a show. I kind of want to go to the one in Boston though. I mean, just to hear.
Well,
that
they have the
album done.
blessing of REM, and
Didn't Mike Mills get up?
I was going
with
to say
them?
they've had members of the band. Like,
well, Mike
come up
Mills
on
will
stage.
do anything. He played with the Colts owner. Worcester, the guy from Superchunk, is the drummer of that band.
That's right.
Yeah, they just they had a highly successful tour just being an REM cover band. The power of being an actor.
Not playing Vegas, though. Instead, they're playing at Harrah's Lake Tahoe, State Line, Nevada. Oh. So, don't have a Vegas date on there.
Well, that's a shame. You got to correct that. You got to get to your people. Politics for that. I'm off to the airport, gentlemen. I'm not going anywhere.
Enjoy yourself.
Massport. They're making a lot of improvements, and I'm going to go show them to people.
Good.
Do you understand?
Have fun.
I'm the face of Logan Airport. Do you understand?
Ironic, but great.
How is it ironic? I've never complained about Logan Airport. Never complained about the airport. I complained about Spirit Airlines. That's for sure.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Spirit Airlines. All right. That'll do it for us. I am taking a lift, if you must know. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow.